opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Man, as usual, I am your host, Scott Lewis. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms. That is at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms, and also follow our partners, H&B Media at H&B Media on Instagram, at HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. Fucking up to that. And of course, visit the show's new Instagram page at INGHY Show and get in tune with everything we've got on our Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. If you are listening to this on the podcast feed, the link is in the description box. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can take your phone up to the screen and the QR code will take you to all 4 different tiers. And if you subscribe to the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which is $5, you get a special Wednesday show. And of course, the $10 holler, that is the Barbershop access fee, where you get everything on the Barbershop Network Patreon. And if that includes 25% off your first order on the Barbershop Network merchandise shop. That is the bcnetshop.com. We've got a special Caleb Williams NFL draft shirt dropping next week, so look out for that, man. Got a dope show for y'all on deck. We got NBA playoff talk. We got NBA play-in talk. Kyler Gordon got extended for the Bears. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And the homie Tosin is here as we going to debut a new segment called Soccer for Dummies. As I am looking forward to debuting that with y'all today, man. So let's bring in the homies. We've got Bang, we've got Pavy, and we've got Tosin. Pavy's doing a back-to-back. Salute to Pavy. Pavy just did an hour and a half of yelling with Thomas about NBA playoffs, and Pavy is back with us again here today. Pav, how you feeling?
I'm chilling, bro. I can't complain.
Bang, how you feeling?
Hey, man, it is the birthday of my youngest son. Shout out to Liam. He turned 4 today. You know what I'm saying? So he starts off a big week for us. But other than that, we good.
We got the homie Tosin here, man. Tosin, what's going on, brother?
Good, man. Good.
We were just debating before we came on show. That's probably we were 5 minutes late, about which school had the most famous alumnus. And I realized I went to Curie Metropolitan High School on the southwest side of Chicago, and ain't that many. So my plan is to be on the top of that list. And today I found out that Robert Townsend's from the west side, and I'm very distraught about that. I thought he's one of us. I did not know that. I did not know that whatsoever.
Yeah, man. Robert Townsend is all over the west side. West side on them. Shouts out to Prosser, Weber High School, and Ulster High School. He was 3 years ahead of my mom.
Yeah, I had nobody. Yeah, it's very. When I thought about it, I was like, "Damn, we ain't got." I mean, that's a couple. There's a couple went there, but no big names. Like if I went to like a random city, now I would tell niggas who went to my high school. Niggas like, "What?" Like the niggas wouldn't know that whatsoever. So, anyway, man, we got a big show to get into, man. But of course, let's kick it off with the warm up. Want to take this time to give a rest in peace to Kyron Lacey. He was former wide receiver at LSU, man. Lost his life this week due to a suicide. Our prayers and thoughts are to go to his family and friends and everybody at LSU. I don't want to know. We don't know exactly what happened. I think some of the details of scars, I don't really like how they're framing some of it, but more importantly, just putting our prayers and love out there for the family and the friends, man. But how was y'all weekend? What y'all do this weekend, man?
Went to church. My business. Nah, I'm joking. Just watch a lot of soccer. Watch a lot of soccer. End up watching the Warriors game too, which we'll talk about it. But I got thoughts and opinions on that.
Yeah, we got Scott Hurd because he claimed Media Man. You're right. Yeah, Media Man was the first black superhero. Put some respect on Media Man. Don Cheadle was one of the leader of Golden Lords in that movie too.
Why do you think they was called
Golden
the Golden
Lords? Okay, it's all coming together.
Why do you think?
Lords.
He grew up around CVLs, fam. Come on now.
Wasn't the Golden Folks? It was the Golden Lords. That makes sense. It makes more sense.
I ain't do nothing this weekend, man. Just getting ready for this vow renewal this Saturday, and everything. Spending the rest of my money and that thing. But I'm excited. Today is the 4-year-old's birthday, so spend money there too. But we ain't really do too much.
And Bang gets Friday off. Looks like Bang always asking for show PTO. He got a show PTO. He got it approved at the same time that Mariano said he was coming on the show. It's perfect. I had to reach out to nobody. That's how God works. It was awesome. I didn't do nothing but watch soccer and basketball this weekend. We're gonna talk about that later in the show. I had some Manchester United thoughts, and I got cussed off the internet. But we're going to discuss that later on in the program. And also the Warriors Clippers game was also pretty good heading into the playoffs. But Pat, what you get into this weekend?
Same things I get into every weekend, bro. Same thing, bro. I was outside stuff, bro.
Los Angeles nightlife and tweeting about what women were pissing you off this weekend.
Literally the same thing I do every weekend.
It was like on Pinky and the Brain. Same thing we doing everything.
Delilah was good, Pat? Huh? Delilah was good?
I actually did go to Delilah this weekend. I went solo. It was actually a decent time. It's transferred into like a place it's transferred into like if you go to dinner with like a lady and you want to like stop by and get one more drink, like it's transformed into like a place you can do that on Saturday. But yeah. I found out about a new spot.
No, go ahead.
I found out about a new spot. I felt like I was in an episode of Insecure. It's on West Adams.
You was downtown, nigga?
No, West Adams.
Oh, okay.
West Adams. It's a cool little spot. It's called
that's definitely an insecure location.
It's called Damn I Miss Paris. It's a cool little spot.
That sounds like an episode of Insecure.
Literally. I was literally walked into an episode of Insecure, but it's a cool little weekend though.
I heard Issa's actual spot is busting.
I've been to it. It's a really nice restaurant. Like inside of it is a really nice restaurant. The food I had was actually fire. It's a dope spot.
All right, man. Shout out that. Yeah, that's all I did this weekend, man. One thing I did see this weekend is Stephen A. Smith was dead ass. Did y'all see his actual interview about him seriously considering to run for presidency? It's going from our joke on this show to him actually considering it. And I was watching this morning like, oh, this nigga's serious. And he said, I've even had my pastor come out to me and say, you don't know what door God is opening for you. Well, nigga, I tell you, that ain't that one. That one I can for sure tell you that ain't it. Like I think where we are as a country, it is unfortunate that I can look at this and say this is probably gonna be a possibility. But he also is on the same time say, oh, I'm not really running, but I gotta think about it. Tosin, I know you said you've been on the front line. Think about what would the debate be like? Did you see the interview? And if you did, what is this? What are you thinking about this particular part that we are in this Stephen A. president process?
So one, I ignored it on purpose because I don't got time to be wasting my time and hear Stephen A. Smith trying to run for president. Two, like I know it's gonna sound insane what I'm about to say, but we're now in this place in America where if you're not a straight white man, you're not gonna run. You're not gonna be president. It's just unfortunate. Like we tried with Hillary Clinton, we tried with Kamala. It's never gonna happen. It's just the state of this country. So unfortunately, America wants a strong white man. That's what they want, and they got what they wanted in Tariff Man. So hey, that's what the country wants. That's what the country gets. So Stephen A. Smith just stick to yelling at people about sports, and that's all you can do.
Bang, what would you do if he actually makes the ticket?
I'll run myself as an independent. I'm dead ass.
Bang,
if Stephen A could do it, I can do it too. And I got goddamn the goddamn artwork and that thing ready too. Like it's hey, I got it ready. JR Bang for some shit. Like that's it. I'm running for some shit. We gonna win something. And I'm gonna get some write-in votes. So yeah, if he do it, I'm doing it too. Dead ass. It would be a joke at this point if even more so than Donald Trump, if Stephen A. Smith could secure any nomination. It's not really a diss to Stephen A. Smith. It's a diss to the United States of America that you can. This would really be. What's the Chris Rock movie?
Head of State.
Oh, Head of State.
This would literally be real life Head of State. Like, oh shit, I run. They say I do it. For the fact that your pastor say anything can be done, and maybe God is no, God ain't telling you that. God is putting you in position to do this shit to show the world why we are at where we're at right now. So yeah, no, that's why.
You need to stop going to that church. That's what we need to do. Stop going to that church. If he's telling Stephen A. Smith to run for president, like, and yeah, that's just pretty much where I'm at with it, man. I'm kind of finished with all things politics. I read enough and pay attention enough just so I know what is going on in the world. But it's if I got pay attention to Tariff Trump every day, I'm gonna lose my mind. Said Stephen A. Smith said himself about a month ago. Laughable. I mean, yeah, he said that, but then he also said on the show. I mean, on that interview that he had to consider it. That was a funny thing. Like he said both things. Like he said himself, I'm super unqualified, but I had to consider it. That's just who we at. But other headline from the weekend, did y'all know that Giannis says nigga? This was brought to my attention by Tosin. Until I saw the video, I was like, he said it so funny. Even Kay kind of was like, I didn't know he talked like that. He said, what are you talking about, nigga?
He talks just like the way my dad says nigga. It's hilarious.
Nigga, what are you talking about? Nigga, what are you talking about? And Kate ass said, damn, I didn't know he talked like that, which was so funny because I ain't know he talked like that either. Nigga, what are you talking about? And then Asar was laughing in the background when Kay said, I didn't know he talked like that.
That was the funniest thing.
That's how I know he's Nigerian for sure. The way he said that, I was like, yeah, you were 100% Nigerian. Like, your name's not Giannis. Your name is Benga. I'm not calling you Giannis no more. I'm refusing to call you Giannis. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, and like I feel like Giannis is somebody out of everybody who all the international players we have in America, and he's probably the one who has been as Americanized, I guess, as all of them. Like you see, like Jokic or Luka, they don't do half the shit that Giannis does. Like Giannis got excited by having a corn dog. Like he's like what was it was a corn dog and there's something else he got excited. Was it Chick-fil-A?
A milkshake. It was a milkshake. Remember when we tweeted about that? Yeah, tweeted
about the milkshake. It was a milkshake. He got so excited about
the man won the title and went to Chick-fil-A. That tells you everything.
Well, to be fair, ain't much else to do in Milwaukee. But
no, it wasn't.
Hey, don't say that on 414 day. It is 414 day. In Milwaukee, that's their area code. Don't
so does everybody have an area code day?
Yeah.
I've never. I mean, Chicago don't make that big deal about 312 day.
St. Louis does it the best. St. Louis is the area code joint that does it the best. I even hate that I missed it ever since I've lived in St. Louis. That they do 314 day the best. But yeah, Milwaukee celebrating 414 day. Don't do that to them on that.
I mean, look, they can celebrate 4-on-4 day all they want. It's still true. Ain't much to do in Milwaukee. It is what
It's
it
a
is.
better
Like,
city than what you think it is, though.
no, it's not. I've been
There are
multiple
much
times.
worse cities you could go to than Milwaukee.
Okay, just
It
because
is.
it's much worse cities don't mean
Like
it's not
major
a bad.
cities?
Huh?
Like major cities?
I mean, Milwaukee's not a major, but like Midwest cities. Like I'd rather be in Milwaukee than like St. Louis.
As somebody who lived in St. Louis and whose family is in Milwaukee, raised in Milwaukee, I'd rather be in St. Louis.
I mean, I've been to both. I don't see that much difference except for
I'd rather put
Milwaukee's
me in
bigger.
Milwaukee, G.
I've
No,
been around in St. Louis enough. They got their baseball is better. And I don't want to see no Green Bay Packer jerseys.
Okay, that's
Like nobody
point.
do opening
That's
day like the
point.
nobody do opening day like the St. Louis Cardinals. So that's one. And their whole setup is even better. The only thing they don't have is basketball and now football, but baseball trumps the Milwaukee Brewers and shit. And all their goddamn houses don't be held up by goddamn like water poles. Like that's what their banisters are, like water poles and shit in the goddamn hood. Yeah, and no diss to
What was
my
it like when they
Milwaukee
had the
family.
Rams?
Oh, it was lit. Like, well, I got that towards like the tail end, but they tell me all the time, like when the Rams was the Rams, oh, it was lit. Plus, look, even when you look at rap, like even though I ain't no Nelly fan, Nelly or Cuckoo Cow.
I mean, on like the rap side. This is like a. I mean, on like the rap side, outside of Chicago and Detroit, dare I say, St. Louis has the best rappers out the Midwest.
And St. Louis barbecue is fire.
Yeah, barbecue is fire. Kansas City got good barbecue too. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a Midwest guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been trying to say that
your ass went to LA and start banging and shit. Start saying
no. I always felt this way about the Midwest. I felt this way about the Midwest before I moved. Like I always felt that way. Like it's just. I've always said we should trade Chicago to the East Coast.
No, we shouldn't. We be Boston.
Pav disagrees with me all the time. Trade us to the East. Y'all don't even want Jersey. East Coast don't even want Jersey. Send Jersey to the Midwest.
Chicago would literally be like the second city. We are the New York of where we are. Everybody in this area aspires
our
to
location
Chicago.
makes us where we are.
Yes. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, you go around the Midwest. What exactly you doing in the Midwest besides leaving?
That's not doing Chicago, but like outside.
Exactly
Chicago,
my
point. Okay. We can't do this. If you like nature, you can go upstate.
Nature.
No, for real. If you like nature, you can go upstate Wisconsin. There's actually in downstate Illinois, there are some ancient pyramids that you can go visit in downstate Illinois. Upstate Michigan, you can also like if you like nature, there's things to do in the Midwest. It's just not like popping things to do. But if you like calm and peaceful adventures,
there's things to do, just not exciting
popping things to do. But if you like calm and peaceful adventures, the Midwest, especially like upstate and like Wisconsin and Milwaukee, it does provide that.
I'm straight up. I've been everywhere in the Midwest. I'm straight. Here's the Giannis tweet. I just had
the first time a smoothie.
God bless America. I ain't gonna lie though. So if you have last time niggas had a smoothie, but I feel like that every time I have a smoothie. Like I ain't gonna lie. I feel Giannis on this tweet. I don't remember the first time I had a smoothie, but I'm pretty sure my reaction was like that. I feel what Giannis got. Also made me think they ain't got smoothies in Greece, nigga. Like
no.
No, nigga eating euros.
No, they ain't got smoothies in Greece.
Niggas ain't got smoothies in Greece. I learned something. Let's go on to our first fake little topic. So Chicago rappers way better than St. Louis. I mean, you know what's funny? This is gonna sound hilarious, and this might get me in trouble. I've never been that big of a fan about Chicago rap. Like, there's a couple niggas I like, but overall, never really been a fan. Never really been a fan. Like, my favorite rappers from Chicago, I mean, Kanye before he became a Nazi, was in there. King Louis, big fan of King Louis. Our food is banned in Greece.
No, it probably really is banned in Greece.
It probably is. Who else? Keith, obviously.
Our food is banned everywhere.
You're not wrong.
That's true. WrestleMania weekend. Yo, hey, bang. I didn't know they had WrestleMania. Didn't WrestleMania usually be like a week or two earlier than it is?
It's normally, well, it depends because we've
I ain't
had
never
some
seen it happen the
WrestleManias as late
weekend
as.
the NBA playoffs start.
Yeah, no, they moved it up. Well, they moved it back a lot further and shit. Normally it's like between like April Fool's Day and like April. This is the latest it's been for a while though. It's been a
Yeah,
while,
that's
but
what
yeah,
I thought.
it's WrestleMania week too. Yeah, it's my son's birthday, vow renewal on Saturday, WrestleMania night one.
So you
That
got your
night,
vow renewal and WrestleMania night on the same day?
yeah, night one and
How
night
did
two,
that,
night
how
two
that
the next day.
conversation happen?
Oh shit, we actually moved. I mean, shit, the wedding, the vow renewal is early in the day.
Oh, it's early in the day. Okay, you're
Yeah,
not doing
cause like, yeah, we gonna enjoy ourselves. Like y'all could go home if y'all want to, but we gonna be drunk.
no love. Oh no, I was a big Bum J fan. Yeah, I was a big Bum J fan. Yeah, but that's about it. Like I'm not one of those. It's gonna sound hilarious again. One of those Chicago of everything ass niggas. I'm really not.
Oh wait, so you wasn't like digging in the crates for like random ass Chicago rappers and shit?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know
Like
two do or die songs, my
rappers,
nigga.
your favorite rappers is the nigga you know. Like you're not looking at
Yeah.
like this random nigga that was popping in like 1991.
Oh yeah, all my favorite rappers from New York and Los Angeles, bro. So like if you look at my top 5 favorite rapper list, 3 of them are from three of them are from New York, the other 2 from the West Coast. So you got Jay, you got Kendrick, you got Pac, you got Cam, you got 50.
Why you ain't? Did you go to this Dom Kennedy show out here?
No, my legs are not doing that at age 36. I went 10 years ago when I could.
Rapper?
Because Dom don't perform in settings with seats. So when I went in 2014, remember when he had that show at what was that place across the street from Wrigley Field?
Metro.
Yeah, the Metro. Yeah, the Metro.
Yeah, because that's when I met AD.
Oh, in 2014?
Yep.
Everybody was at that show. That's when I converted Pav to be a Dom fan. But what you just saying, Pav? Something about your favorite? Whatever?
No, I was gonna say all my favorite rappers for the most part from the South, and then obviously Drake, not from America, but the South.
Drake's not a rapper, but anyway, we're not gonna do that today. Kyler Gordon got extended with the Chicago Bears. This one was coming down. Is a pipe the right term? I kind of feel like we all knew this was gonna happen. This is something that we always wondered who's gonna be the first guy from the Poles class who was gonna get his contract. And I thought it was going to be this guy because he's the only one who's been as consistent. It's a 3-year, $40 million extension that includes $31.25 million guaranteed, and now makes Kyler Gordon the NFL's highest paid slot corner, and he will be in Chicago to the 2028 season. This is my quick thoughts on this. Love it. I love it. I remember when Kyler got drafted. Him and Jaquan got drafted the same draft, and I was visibly upset. That was my first NFL draft I went to because I wanted George Pickens. Now, obviously, what we know about the two, I am a dumbass. And I'm glad we didn't get George Pickens. George Pickens in Chicago, that wouldn't have ended so well. So I'm glad we got it that. But he's been, every time he's playing, he's been great. When they moved him to slot, he's been elite. And only thing is, he gets hurt every now and then, but for the most part, he has been reliable, played 15 games last year, and he's a real cornerstone to the secondary. So I love the deal. It's a deal that's sensible. It's not a deal where he's getting too much money. And I think this is it's a win for Poles more than anything. Obviously, Kyler wins because he's getting the actual money. But now he's actually got somebody who drafted who he can put up and say, okay, this is a good draft pick. Bang. What's your thoughts? A little bit on Kyler Gordon, then we'll move on.
I love it. When they announced that Dennis Allen was going to be the defensive coordinator, and they went through the press conference, like Dennis Allen named him, spoke about him by name. That tells me everything that I need to know about what the expectations are, as far as that goes. But also when you think about it, Trey probably did that. But also when you think about it too, like when you look at him and when you look at Brisker, not Brisker, when you look at Kyler, when you look at Johnson, when you look at Stevenson, Dennis Allen is coming in and looking at the cornerback room is pretty much the strongest on the defense and stuff he doesn't have to worry about. But he's also looking at that slot, looking at Gordon and saying, hey, I can do a lot with this player. So I expect a big year for him. I expect a big year for Kyler Gordon, a Pro Bowl year for him as well. And it also lets you know what they think about the slot. Like for him to get this much money as a slot, you look at slot receivers, and when you look at tight ends, when you look at all of this, you're saying like, yo, we need players like this. So you can say that Kyler Gordon also set the bar for this position as well.
Kyler Gordon getting hurt was the only bad thing about that London game. We was blowing their ass out and Kyler Gordon got hurt. And I was like, oh, damn. And then everything else went well. But shout out to Kyler Gordon. Big contract, big member of the team, man. We'll talk about this more in depth on Friday when we have enough content for a look around, man. But NBA playoffs starting this week. I don't know. This NBA season felt like it was long, but it was short at the same time. Like it really felt like it kind of went like this. But glad it's here. So I want to go through my top 5 storylines heading into this playoffs. And then I also want to give each of our top 4 teams that we think are most likely to be hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy in 2 months, man. So I'm going to start at number 5 with a nigga we was just talking about a couple minutes ago. Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Could this be his final year in Milwaukee? Right now, they are set to open up against the team that they lost to last year in the first round, which is the Indiana Pacers. We still don't know the status for Dame Lillard. We know he's got the blood clot thing. So from everything we've heard so far, doesn't look like he's going to be available to start the series. The Bucks ended the season pretty hot, but so did the Indiana Pacers. To me, this is something where, yes, I believe if this team doesn't at least make a conference finals, newsflash, they will not, then he's going to demand a trade. We've always heard from these last couple of years that he says that he wants to win. He will stay in Milwaukee as long as they're committed to winning. It feels like everything they've done post-winning the championship 4 years ago has not been in the direction of the winning ways. And Giannis is still very, very good. Giannis is still young. Yes, he gets injured, but ultimately he is still a very good player in this league and can still lead a team to an NBA championship, in my opinion, if surrounded by the right pieces. Where he's going, I have no idea, but I find it hard to believe that another first-round exit, actually, who was it, the second or third? It might be the third straight first-round exit. They lost to Miami. I think that was first round when they lost to Miami.
The Boston round? Series. That was first round, but the Boston series they went. Well, no, you're right. It will be the third round.
No, that was because they lost last year.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, so this year if they lose, be the third straight in the first round. And yeah, that's something where if you're somebody a caliber of Giannis player that you want to be able to compete for championships, I think he's going to ask for one. And who knows who he's going to go, but this is what I think will happen. Pat, what do you think about Giannis and his chances of staying in Milwaukee riding on this series against the Pacers?
I think that really, if you look at every year since they won the championship, I think it's just been unfortunate events, right? Like, they just haven't been healthy for the most part. Like even last year, Giannis gets hurt. Dame gets hurt. This year, Dame is hurt. Go back a few other years. The Heat year, Giannis fell out the sky. He got hurt. Year before, Middleton got hurt, and Middleton never really recovered from that injury. So I think just ever since that championship run, they just had an unfortunate string with injuries. But also, it is Milwaukee. I think that they've tried their best, but they probably put themselves in a situation where it's like, I don't really know how this team moves forwards and gets better. So if they don't really have any young talent, right, I think maybe the best, quote-unquote, young player they have is either Kevin Porter Jr. or AJ Green, and Kevin Porter Jr. isn't even under contract next season. So you would have to find a way to re-sign him. And AJ Green obviously is not a guy who's going to be a superstar, and neither is Andre Jackson. Like, we're talking about all role-playing guys, so it's not like you have like young guys coming up that you could point at and be like, yo, this is a person that I can pair with him in the future. So I think it maybe would make sense maybe for him to move on, but the problem always is when you talk about trading these star players is the packages that you have to put together to get a guy like him, and then you might put yourself in a series again. I always use the example of with Melo with the Knicks, right? Like they traded all these ancillary pieces to get Melo when Melo could have just played his contract out and signed somewhere else. And you saw what the Melo Nick run became because after a while, all those old guys got old, and you had no young guys to run out there with them. So we'll see. But yeah, I definitely think it kind of sucks. There's no real way for the Bucks forward as far as them to really realistically get better. Now, granted, I think Kyle Kuzma contract does end, so you get some cap relief this summer. Maybe you can go out and get a guy, but I don't know if whoever you're gonna get is gonna be a big enough swing to push you over the hump. So yeah.
And we all know that Dame hates being there on top of all that, but as we were just talking about Milwaukee. But Tosin, what do you think about where Giannis? What's on the line for Giannis and the Bucks in these playoffs?
The GM's got to earn his keep in the summer because I don't think they're gonna go that far. They're talented, but I just think, like Pat was saying, they've been hurt a lot. And it's been unfortunate for them. Like Dame getting the blood clot out of nowhere was just like, damn, like your chances got even worse. So if they do get past the Pacers, I don't know how far else they're going to get in the playoffs. And now in the summertime, it's like, okay, how do we keep Giannis and how do we figure out to make sure that he's, surrounded by talent? You don't want to sacrifice everything to, ruin your future for the short term, So it's one of those things where the GM's got to earn his keep. And I don't see Giannis being there long term because who's he going to play with? Mega Kuzma is not, going to be there in the summer. So yeah, good luck to the GM.
Mega Kuzma. I be forgetting he was on the I just we all got different views type shit. Bang. What you think about Giannis, man? Is he gonna be out of here?
When you gave me this question a couple of weeks ago, I was like, nah, because where else he gonna go? But the way now that I feel about the league, NBA players, and how people have been approaching this conversation, yeah, I think it might be time for him to dip. And I think he might push for that too. Like Dame Lillard being out don't help. And then the moves that you can make, the moves that they had to make to even try to get Dame Lillard, I don't think that helps either. But like Tosin said, is right. What I believe that Giannis got to think about is, okay, I'll go here, but since I'm not a free agent, what they're gonna have to give up to get me, and then he's gonna have to make the Kobe decision. Like, remember when Kobe wanted to come to the Bulls?
Yeah, we wouldn't give up Lou. Well, he wanted to keep Luol Deng. I got to say, Luol Deng has been in the middle of me not getting what I want as a Bulls fan. Let's forget about 2007 when Kobe was actually looking at schools out here, but he wanted to keep Luol Deng. And let's not forget about the story that both LeBron, Bosh, and Wade all told that the Clippers were supposed to get Luol Deng, and that was gonna clear the way for the Bulls to get all three of them niggas from the Heat to Chicago. But the amount of time it took for them to reform that trade, Pat Riley pounced. Love Luol Deng, but he's also ruined my life in multiple instances here. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you look at it like that, let's say for instance, let's look at Miami, and let's already look at the assets that Miami had. Is Giannis going to look at Miami as an attractive destination to win a title?
No.
The Knicks. I guess you could look at the Knicks and say, if I'm I forgot who's the GM there, Leon Rose and them, Worldwide West and them, do I give up on the experiment with Cat and trade Cat and some stuff for Giannis? That's the only one that I feel like could work, and you get something back. But outside of that, there's no place that Giannis could go that you're not going to have to give up a piece or two. I know people.
It's a scary place that he could go.
What's that?
Oklahoma City. They got the picks and they got the young talent.
They do, but
you think he gonna want to? Like, I just played 13 years in Milwaukee. Now he trying to send me to Oklahoma.
But see, do you think that he cares about the vibes? If he cares about the vibes, then that's a good point. If he don't, that's a perfect spot. Him and Shea, good Lord.
I think while you're right, The only reason why you make this move and then don't specifically say you want to go to OKC is because of the vibes. If Giannis wants to leave, I think he's going to want a chance to win, but he already has a ring. So I also want to go to a big market team. But if Giannis says he wants to leave, he needs to say, trade me here so you could, not in public. He needs to say, trade me to OKC so you could get as much assets as you need. I'm gonna be in the West, so y'all not gonna be bothered with me. You're gonna get some picks and some players. And again, y'all not gonna be bothered with me. If y'all want to trade me, y'all ain't gonna want to trade me in the East. You're gonna want to trade me in the West. So I think if that happens, the only way that can happen is if he says that after the season is over with, and that's the conversation that they have. Like, man, trade me. I'll go to this destination here. But we normally don't see that either. Because it's not like there's been teams that have hella assets to give to somebody who wants a star, and that star don't look at the organization to be like, nah, I want to go over here. I want to go to Miami. I want to go to New York. I want to go to LA. The team Giannis needs to go to is OKC. Point blank, period.
I agree.
Yo, you said something.
Go ahead, Tosin.
No, I was about to say, you said something about Cat getting traded to Milwaukee. Getting traded from New York to go to Milwaukee is nasty work. I'd retire. I'd retire so fast.
From Minnesota to New York to Milwaukee.
I'd retire. I'm good. I'm all the way.
Yeah. And then they like, being a millionaire ain't that worth it. We gotta live in these two cities. I want to go to my number 4 storyline heading into the NBA playoffs. Will there be a vet team that gets upset by a young team, or vice versa? There could be some of these guys like a young Rockets team or a young Thunder team who might have to see the Golden State Warriors. How much are they shuddering in Houston right now at the potential of getting their life ruined by Steph Curry again?
None at all.
At all.
I don't think Houston wants to play. I mean, listen. I don't think the Rockets have to lose in the first round. I know it might sound crazy, but I saw Steph. But I saw Steph Curry score 3 points a few nights ago against.
I mean, that's also Rockets. The regular season.
I listen. I understand what you're saying, but I think Amen Thompson is a very special player, special defensively. They also do have Fred VanVleet, who is a champion. He's won a championship. He's on that team. Dylan Brooks, hold on. I know what people say about what they want to say about Dylan Brooks, but Dylan Brooks, wherever he's been, somehow teams have won basketball games.
Shane Goon ain't been to the conference finals.
Shane Goon is a legit star. I don't think Houston is scared to play anybody. Granted, I wouldn't put my money on them to win a series, as in like I wouldn't put my money on them in that series. But if Houston could shock the world, I wouldn't be shocked. And Udoka, great coach. In playoff series, we also got to understand that a coach can get you a game or two. Especially if it's close. So if the Rockets if the Warriors end up playing the Rockets, yes, I would probably pick the Warriors in that series. But it would not shock me at all if the Rockets could conjure up something and figure out how to win that series.
Houston is the big what if to me, because I feel like they're good enough to win a series, but at the same time they're very young, and I don't know who. Jalen Green is a baller. But is there somebody else on that roster who you think can really go bucket for bucket with, let's just say, a Golden State Warriors? You got Steph Curry. You got Jimmy Butler. Can they do that? Maybe they can. They're young. They can. I know Fred VanVleet sounds hilarious because it's just, don't let he just got a name that don't sound intimidating. Like, don't let niggas get Fred VanVleet on you. But he is an NBA champion. He's been there. He said, good luck, Houston, when Fred VanVleet has ball crunch time. That is going to be hilarious. But then you got the Thunder, who I am very high on Thunder, but some people are not. You talk about fear. The Golden State Warriors ain't scared to play them niggas either. But do you think it could be an upset a situation like even the Detroit versus the Knicks? The Knicks are in a very interesting situation because they've had basically the same season as last year, but I think a lot of people are a lot lower on them than they were this time last year. Perhaps is there any potential upsets you can see in this first round?
I mean, even let's say, I don't know, the Grizzlies end up getting able to play the Rockets. Like, obviously, I think that would be whoever the Rockets play, whether it's Memphis or whether it's Golden State. is going to be a highly contested series, and Vegas actually might have the Rockets losing those series. As far as the Knicks Pistons series go, yes, I know the Pistons won the season series, but now I will say this: I expect Kay Cunningham to start his MVP campaign for next year in this series, and I'm happy we got this series because I think Kay is
what?
Huh?
The what?
I expect K to start his MVP campaign for next year in this play. Like I think K has potential to legitimately be a top 3, top 5 guy in this league.
I actually agree.
I think putting him.
No, I ain't mad at that. This is the first time I just heard it.
And I think putting him in a series against the Knicks, I think he's going to go out there and average damn near triple-double. I don't think they're going to win the series, but I do think that this will be like one of those classic NBA series, like from like the 80s and 90s, even just the two cities that you have playing. I don't expect the Pistons to win the series, but I do think it'll be a very, very tightly contested series. I don't expect them to win. I guess. Go ahead.
I got a question that I won't pose today because we got a rundown. But because you just said that, I have a question just going into the future of the NBA when it comes to like their stars and stuff, and really like who is that person?
I think
not facing the lead, but just nigga.
I think K could be the next American-born MVP because we ain't had one in a minute.
Who was the last American-born MVP?
James Harden.
Oh, James Harden.
James Harden.
It's been that long?
Yep. So I think he can be the next American-born MVP. But I would say if any team was on, I guess, literally upset alert, I guess it would be if the Warriors ended up losing against Memphis and then played the Thunder in the first round. I think that would be the best one. Even I think that's even a decent matchup-wise. I think that's even a decent matchup for the Warriors. So that would probably be the biggest one. If the 8-1 was Warriors Thunder, that would probably be the biggest reason for upset. Or I don't think that they will win the series, but I remember watching that Cleveland Magic series from last year. Granted, I know they added more pieces and they look like they're playing a lot better, but I think the Magic Cleveland could maybe go 6 or something like that.
I mean, they match up well with Cleveland.
Yeah.
They match up well with Cleveland. Yeah, Tosin, this is my question for you. Like, even though Pat brings good points about the Rockets, don't you just think off PTSD alone from what Stephen Curry has done to the city of Houston, that this just something that the fans just don't want to see just off of that? We still remember them 27 missed threes in 2018.
So first thing is Daryl Morey's not there anymore. So that ghost is gone. I think Ime is one of the best coaches in the league. So that's another thing too. It really depends if Ted Cruz shows up or not. Because whenever Ted Cruz shows up,
right,
Houston teams lose all the time. So that's really it. With the Warriors, though, the only thing that scares me about the Warriors is they had a play yesterday for Buddy Hield to shoot a 3. And he was open and he bricked the hell out that 3. And I was like, I don't think Buddy Hield is that good at shooting anymore. And I don't know where the Warriors going to get help from. Like, they got Steph, they got Jimmy, but Steph was doing some dumb stuff yesterday. He got like 7 or 8 turnovers yesterday. I'm just like, yo, why are you doing this? So I don't know if the Warriors, and like they're not playing Jonathan Kuminga anymore. I think Jonathan Kuminga's done. They're going to shut him down for the rest of the playoffs. Like, he's not playing anymore. So I'm really interested to see what their rotation is going to look like. I wish they played Moses Moody a little bit more yesterday, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that Ime's a much better coach than people think that he is, and that's going to take them far. So I'm really excited to see what Ime does with this team.
Man, we've been talking about old and new on this show for the last couple of weeks. Anybody on upset alert to you?
I don't think anybody is really on upset alert because, especially in the West, I wouldn't consider it an upset if Houston were to lose. I wouldn't consider it an upset if the Lakers lost. I wouldn't consider it an upset if Denver were to lose. Like, the only team that loses, I consider it as an upset, is OKC, and I don't think OKC is losing. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think 1 through 5 can make it to the NBA Finals. So that's one thing, but I also think that other people will give folks a run. But with Houston, I think the thing about it, when y'all talk about Houston, you said it, a coach can get you a game or two. And I truly believe that not only Ime Udoka is one of the best coaches in the NBA, I think second round is the conversation that you need to have when it comes to upsets. Not the first round, the second round. I think people are not giving Houston no credit. And honestly, the reason why Ime Udoka not getting no credit because he bust down the chick that worked in the organization.
Because he cheated on Neil Long. That's why.
Because he cheated on not like dead serious. Like Stephen A. Smith said, like
it's a legit reason.
Got out. It's a legit.
If you cheat on Neil Long, I gotta question your decision making.
When you hear some stories, it might not be so surprising after all.
You can hear some stories,
yeah, but like seriously, when you talk about Ime Udoka, you let his personal life and what happened cloud how good of a coach he is, and the fact that Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics fired that man. The way that they fired that man, I mean, people look at that situation, and I mean, when you think about it, him going to Houston when he went, it was like throwing him to the CBA and becoming a coach.
Yeah,
the way people was looking at Houston, and now look at Houston. So yeah, they're the second. I mean, what they're the second seed? Yeah, they're the second seed, and yeah, they don't have the experience and stuff like that. But those are the teams that you worry about the most. Like when you're going against some of these teams that are long in the tooth, it's like, yo, we ain't really got nothing to lose here because y'all ain't expect us to be here. And you got Dylan Brooks on the team that's not supposed to be here. It's the shit he loves. So yeah, it wouldn't be a shock to surprise if Houston were to lose, but that's only because of the competition they're going against, and the West is stocked.
Yo, I saw a tweet yesterday that made my knee buckle and really felt my age. It's like the intensity of the Warriors versus the Clippers makes more sense when you realize a bunch of guys in their 30s fighting for a week off from work. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, niggas said vintage Harden. I remember when he was drafted. Like, that made me feel real old. Harden going back in his old bag. I'm like, it's been that long, bro.
Yo,
like, that's insane.
These are our age mates, and this is how they talking about us. We really washed the fuck up. That's crazy.
We really washed up. I got the Knicks on red upset alert. The Pistons are hot. Yeah, the Pistons don't care. They ain't scared nobody. I love Cade.
They want to fight.
Even though they are division rivals for whatever that means, I am looking forward to hearing Detroit basketball blare through my TV for the first time in a long time.
Trying to tell y'all, man.
They gonna be good. I don't know if I picked the Pistons, but they on red alert. They are on red alert, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm picking now. That's not an upset to me either. But the more I think about it, the more
that's an upset.
It's an upset, bro.
I'm saying for me, it's not an upset because when you said what you said about Cade Cunningham, I felt like I was the only one that was like, yo, he's a potential MVP. When you look at that team, and when you look at the Knicks, I'm sorry. I'm a person that think the Knicks are overrated, and it's a whole bunch of play hard shit that's going on. That's how they've always been to me, and it's not just because of my hate for the New York Knicks. They're a lot of play hard ass niggas and those play hard niggas run out of goddamn time when it gets to the playoffs. To me, you got Cade, you got a front court that don't give a shit, and those are the type of teams that beat Tibbs teams because now you matching power for power. You're matching everything, but you also got a team that's been playing a whole bunch of minutes all year long. Detroit beats teams like this up, and it's not that they don't want to play. They just ain't got the energy no more. That's why I wouldn't think it's an upset. I think the Knicks is looking at this series like, damn, that's a team that we don't want to play.
Damn, we wanted the Bucks.
We wanted the Bucks. So we wanted a team that played with a little bit more finesse.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think it's an upset.
To your point, I definitely think Knicks are overrated. I mean, obviously I live in the city and like the fans they just love talking about their team like they something special. I'm like, yo, y'all are just all right. Like, you're a solid team, but like, you know, I'm not sold on you guys trying to win it with OG Anunoby. I'm not, like, no disrespect to my Nigerian brother. I love him, but like, yo, you don't put no fear in my heart when you're talking about OG Anunoby and like Josh Hart is Draymond Green went to therapy, so he does not scare me one bit at all.
Green went to therapy is funny as hell.
That's what he is.
Like, these niggas beat the Sixers last year on one leg, Joel Embiid, and niggas just started losing it, bro. I'm like, let's relax. And that series went longer than did they go to 7 games? Didn't that series go to 7 games last year?
Something like that.
Look,
yes,
man,
it was 7.
Kate, don't let them get one of the first 2 games at the Garden, and you gotta go to Detroit, downtown Detroit. Niggas gonna have the buffs out. You finna ice cam finna be active. Niggas finna have a mix out. You finna see real Detroit next week.
Like the clincher for me is the Knicks still don't strike me as a team that'll put their foot on your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Detroit strikes me as a team that would not only put their foot on your neck, but call you a bitch in front of your grandmother at church. That's what Detroit is.
They got that. You know, Detroit, the NBA is back. You know the Pistons are back when they started fighting niggas. When niggas was hemming niggas up at the Timberwolves game, you said the Pistons are back. What you gonna do when you down 15 and you got George Blaha, who been calling games since Isaiah Thomas rookie year, saying the Knicks on the road? There's gonna be trouble. I'm telling you.
And don't do some shit. Don't do some shit like this because it's not a playoffs. So you do shit like this during the playoffs. Like, don't trot out Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, and Mark Aguirre and shit. Don't do some shit like that. Whole fucking crowd go nuts, motherfucker. Exactly. And all that shit. Don't do some shit like that. You can't even trot out Charles Oakley for this shit because they don't want Charles Oakley to be there.
Is getting a 4-game suspension in Bill Laimbeer's courtside. I'm telling you right now, he's getting a 4-game suspension.
They're gonna turn around and see Sada Baby. They're gonna lose their mind. That's what's gonna happen.
They're gonna have V's courtside.
Yeah,
Baby face Ray and drop 30. They gonna see Cash down and lose it.
Yeah, like that. Those are literally all the reasons why I'm like, that's not really an upset.
Hey man, good luck. Yo, if Meech was able to leave house arrest, oh my god, nigga. Oh my god.
Yo, they're about to bring Trick back. They're bringing Trick back.
Oh, Trick definitely gonna be at the game.
Oh no, he's 100%.
Eminem might be at the game.
Yeah,
Grandpa Eminem.
Yeah,
Grandpa Eminem.
Bro, when I did the Lions Bears game on Thanksgiving this year, and they showed Eminem on that jumbotron, we didn't score for the rest of the game. Like it was loud up in there, bro. Like they love that nigga.
They're gonna have the Pistons down 30, and what's it called? The Pistons gonna be up 30. They're gonna have Bodie James talking about where we at with it. Call the whole shit off. That's it. This is over.
$2 million up, blasting down 25 in the fourth quarter. They zoom in on Jalen Brunson. I'll be trying.
It'll be rest in peace. They're gonna put a rest in peace proof ass video tribute of proof and shit on the shit.
They're gonna have a hologram. They're gonna have a hologram of proof. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have a hologram of that man.
You get a free hot dog at Coney if the Pistons score 100.
Yeah, like dead ass. The only reason, I mean, I'm not saying the Knicks gonna get swept. I'm not saying it ain't out the possibility though, because if the Detroit Pistons come out there and smack the shit out, who go Cat? Cat gonna be like, no, I got this. Nah,
Robinson.
You say who?
Mitchell Robinson got a 5 back.
Yo, them niggas treat him like I came, bro. Like when Mitch get back.
You know when the Pistons fortune changed? When they had the Wingstop shit last year. That's when everything changed.
That's definitely when it changed, man. Let's go to my number 3 topic. This is a very first take like topic. But what will a 5th ring do for the legacies of LeBron James? And even though this man is in the play-in, let's just play first take here. Mr. Steph Curry. What would a 5th ring do? And here's my opinion on this situation. This, to me, is the only legitimate rivalry left in the NBA. Every time these two men play, it is very, very entertaining, no matter how old these niggas are. It's actually kind of cool to see them actually talking to each other and be like, LeBron legitimately loves this nigga. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the video. Then they had like a game in January, and he was like coming out, and Steph was like, doing his usual pregame thing. This nigga damn near tackled him trying to hug him. Like, I think he already liked him, but during the Olympics, really, really made them real close. But it's always entertaining. But what would a ring do for him? For me, Steph, if let's just say he gets, I don't think they will because of we've never seen anybody win a play-in. But let's just play devil's advocate. If he becomes the first team to win a championship through the play-in, I mean that puts him now. He's tied with Magic. Now that's an interesting conversation. And oddly, the thing with LeBron, it's gonna sound like I'm a hater when I'm saying this, but I don't really think it's gonna change nothing from this perspective. I think, and look, Pavy, let me finish. This is why I don't think it's gonna change much. I think for both sides are decided. Do you know any diehard Jordan fan who is going to admit LeBron's better? If you're a LeBron fan, you're gonna feel the same way. I don't think that we're in this argument where anybody's gonna change their opinion. Damn sure ain't gonna change mine. But what I will say about it is 5 will make me say, you got it. Anytime the argument comes up, you got it. I don't think it's an absurd thing if he gets this. So that's what I feel about it. But I do hope that if one of these two were to win a championship, that we can see them face off one more time. That's why I was hoping for the Warriors to win yesterday, because I wanted this to be the first round matchup. Not that I think that the Timberwolves aren't going to be a good series. I do think it's going to be a good series. But that's why I don't really know if it will change just because people pretty much decided. Now, Pav, you scoffed when I said that. What do you think a ring will do for either one of these men?
I'm not gonna lie to you. The more I think about this playoffs, G, this might be one of the most important playoffs in NBA history. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah,
there we go.
Might be one of the most important playoffs in the history of basketball, bro.
Yes.
Like I know we've all had these conversations like, oh, the next faces of the league. It's gonna be some people that if they come out and handle their situations right and do their stuff, that when we talk about next year, you gonna know who when we like shooting up graphics, we gonna know who we putting up there, and we gonna have some young people to put up there as well, as far as with the old guys. If LeBron gets his 5th ring, GOAT. I don't want to hear no more. Fuck Mike. Here's why: 50,000 buckets, 50,000 buckets, 5 rings. That means you won 2 rings with the Los Angeles Lakers, which even if we were talking about Lakers lore, it puts you into a whole nother level of Lakers lore. We questioned if he was getting a statue. If Bron get 2 rings, he's getting a stat. He might get 1 anyway, but he's definitely getting a statue outside Staples Center if you have 2 rings with the Lakers. Then that means you won 2 different franchises, multiple rings, and you won another franchise their first ring shit in 60 years, and you got 50,000 buckets. And if they win that ring, it's not gonna be like he got drugged to that ring. Like they win that ring, he fuck around might win Finals MVP. It could happen. It could happen, even though I don't think that's
my question for you. Here's my question for you. If Luka wins the Finals MVP, does that change anything?
No, because he's going to get drugged to the finish line. If they win that ring, that means he still played as best as he possibly could. Because I'm assuming they would be going up against somebody like Boston. First of all, if they somehow made the Finals and played Boston, they're gonna get the shit kicked out of him. So he's not gonna get that ring. He's not gonna get that ring. But if he did, I think that would make, in my personal opinion, LeBron the unquestionable GOAT. For Steph Curry, we talking about top 5. We talking about top 5, and anybody who wants to say he better than Magic. You could try to argue with him because Magic got the MVPs, but Steph got 5 rings. He got the most threes of all time by a wide margin, and that would make his basketball resume shit. I mean, better than most people that we've seen playing, and definitely for sure better than any other point guard that we've seen play. So yeah,
I mean, saying if you want to say he's the GOAT, fine. Unquestionable is ridiculous. 50,000 unquestionable is ridiculous. I think that it's ridiculous. There's a Hall of Fame player limit between the two. If I told you somebody had 2 championship rings, 9 NBA 9 NBA all first teams, and rookie of the year and all that different stuff, that's a Hall of Fame player right there. That's the difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And Mike did almost all of this in half the time.
I hate that because I think that yes, he did do it in half the time. Respect all of that, cool. But I do think it's something to be said about sustained greatness, bro. To be great at anything for 23 part of LeBron's years,
legacy. That's dope. But I don't think that takes that over something else.
To be great at anything for 23 years, and when you are 40 years old, you are one of the main components to winning an NBA championship.
I think
that's
awesome.
the greatest basketball resume ever.
Well, I still think the greatest basketball resume is still Kareem. Like
technically,
basketball.
Technically,
college,
but shit, Bron gonna be up there.
Well, Bron didn't
Hey,
go to college, but
I would not have agreed with you 2 months ago.
Hold on, let me just finish this bang before you go. Let me finish this. I still have a big problem with the NBA Finals loss. I know we like to gloss that and throw that under the table. I can't put somebody as the greatest who's
lost. You don't have a problem with Mike getting his ass whooped the whole 80s though?
He didn't get his ass whooped the whole 80s.
Okay,
and
see, I was with you, Pat.
Hold on, bang, I got this. Hold on. You do know LeBron James lost in the first round like 3 of the last 5 years, right?
It did happen.
He got swept last year.
It did happen.
He got swept last year.
It did happen.
He won the NBA championship and lost in the first round the next year.
It did happen.
So I hate that.
It did happen.
He's lost in the first round a lot too. So I don't want to hear that. When Mike got the gold glove, nobody knocked him out again.
That's not true. That's not true.
Nobody knocked him out.
Shaquille O'Neal happened, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. He played 17 games. Like, if you want to give off a 17-game season, okay. 17. And what happened next year?
Dennis Rodman came.
Oh! You want to talk about the players that LeBron James played with? I would love to do that. You want to talk about all the bona fide Hall of Famers that LeBron James played with?
Scott, hold on, because I see eyebrows. I'm gonna jump in here. I be with y'all niggas until y'all bring up 1984 to 1988. The nigga went against some of the best teams that did the Milwaukee Bucks teams, as I explained weeks ago, are some of the best teams to never win an NBA championship.
I completely agree with you.
And he scored 63. Right, Sidney Moncrief, Terry Cummings, goddamn Jack, like them teams led by Don Nelson is some of the greatest NBA teams to never win a championship, never go to a final. And then he went against quite possibly the greatest team of all time. LeBron James only had that greatest team of all time moniker when he came back from 3-1. But he didn't go up against Larry, Kevin, Robert, DJ, Casey Jones, the fucking Boston Celtics, where you can watch a documentary on that legacy, and they're specifically talking about that team on the documentary on Max. So y'all be losing me.
I just want to say this one thing. I'm gonna give it to Tosin. I don't want to spend too much time on this. But
no, my point gonna be quick though. Go ahead.
I hate when people bring up. Well, first of all, I hate the era compare. Oh, look who he played with. LeBron James has played with some of the greatest players to ever pick up a
Michael Jordan just played with the fucking best small forward in the NBA for a whole
Scottie
decade.
Okay, Scottie Pippen ain't Dwayne Wade. Scottie Pippen is not Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was a better player than Scottie Pippen. We can sit up here and lie about Scottie Pippen.
I don't know about that game.
Dwayne Wade is a better player.
I don't know about that game.
Yes,
I don't know about that game. I really do not know about that game.
Okay, if you
I really don't know about that.
Hall of Famers that
Dwayne Wade. Hold on. Dwayne Wade was never the best shooting guard in the league. Scottie Pippen was dead ass the best small forward in the league for a decade.
Okay, that's fair. I give you that. But look, I give you that. He played. I can't argue that. Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman are bona fide Hall of Famers. Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer. Dwayne Wade, Hall of Famer. Luka Doncic, Hall of Famer. Kyrie Irving, Hall of Famer. Kevin Love, Hall of Famer. Like, that's way more. And by the way, I have no problem in playing with these people because the era he's in is the super team era that he started because he was getting his ass kicked by the Boston Celtics.
I'll just say this one thing. Up until maybe right now, if you want to tell me Luka is, I'm fine with that, even though I disagree. LeBron James has never played with a player who was the best player at their position when he played with him.
All I was going to say is this, because I said this a couple of weeks ago, so it's just matching the point.
Hold on. Luka's not the best player. Hold on. Luka ain't the best player in the position right now?
I don't think so. I think Shea is.
See, Tosin, I'll be trying to get these two.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Hold on,
wait, pause. There's no thought to your mind that Shea might better than Luka?
No, I saw Luka drag them niggas.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he didn't drag nobody nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed to the Patreon to check out Summer Sessions, this is a preview of what Summer Sessions. Go ahead, bang. The first 45. No, if I'll start with Stephen Curry. If Stephen Curry, especially as the play-in, even get to the NBA Finals with this team, I think we need to change the conversation around him. Because even like this man has literally changed the way that this game has been played. You got to have that conversation, even if he gets there. Like it's almost to the point sometimes that I think that Steph Curry is underrated because they talk about him changing the game, but then when you put him in the pantheon, they be like, "Well, we ain't gonna put him there though." It's like this, you have to. So if he even gets them to a Western Conference Final or NBA Final, he's got to be in that conversation. If LeBron James win 5, yeah, y'all got it because of everything that Pavy said. You did this with 2 different organizations. Even when you look at small market versus big market, you went to Cleveland, did it. You went to Miami, you did it there. You go to LA, the place that you're supposed to do it at, and then you get it too. So you would, and then when you add all of the, I call it the longevity stats. And for anybody to try to say, but no, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the longevity stat king too. You play in the league at a high level for this long, you supposed to. And if you don't believe that, Karl Malone got that longevity stat too when it comes to the points and stuff. That is points, all-time points leader is a longevity stat, but it is nothing to shit on, especially if he gets 5. So all I'm saying is that if he gets 5 with the Lakers, the way that this season started out, with his son, that whole storyline, I'll say the same thing that I said a couple weeks ago here.
If I see a Bronny commercial this playoff, I'm going to shoot myself.
Nigga, if LeBron James wins the NBA title this year, you can mark him down as the GOAT, and this nigga should retire. He should not even think about coming back. Luka, this is your shit now. Because this will be the ending, the best ending in NBA history if this nigga wins a championship. If LeBron James wins an NBA championship with him breaking that record, his son, all of the stuff that has happened this season, he can go down and you can have the argument all you want to, but he has no reason whatsoever of getting on a basketball court in an NBA setting and playing, because this would be the greatest ending of a career of all time if LeBron James wins the championship with the Lakers this playoffs.
Go ahead, Tosin.
I mean, he's 40, and we're talking about him.
That too.
We're talking about him like he's still, like still a top 5 player. That's insane in itself. Like he's literally like, I came to America when I was 11 years old, and I remember seeing LeBron James at 12 years old. I'm nearly mid-30s, and this man is still one of the best players in the world. That shit makes no sense to me whatsoever, because most people should have been retired a long time ago, but he's still going. If he wins a championship with his son on the team, that's absurd. That's foolishness. If Steph Curry wins it, though, Steph Curry probably be the greatest light-skinned person to ever exist. Greater than Obama. So that's really all I got to say, because that shit makes no sense. This Warriors team is good, but they're not that good. So if either one of them wins a title this year, that's insane. But the fact we're still sitting here talking about 2 grown-ass men, a 37-year-old and a 40-year-old, as some of the best players in the league, I don't know what that says about the NBA, but it says a lot for those 2, how great they are. We're still talking about them to this day, about like if they win another title. They won multiple already. Their legacy cemented. This is just absurd if they win another one, either one of them. So that's really it for me.
I mean, look, like I said, if he wins, y'all got it. If you want to call him a GOAT, I'm fine. Unquestionably, it's nuts. That's the only problem I have a problem. If you want to say LeBron James is a GOAT, by all means. Now, and bang, I do agree. If he ends it, that's the best ending ever, because old Cheese Eye decided I want to play for the Washington Wizards for 2 years. But we all know LeBron will not do that. If you don't think there's not going to be an uninterrupted documentary covering his whole final last year, you know it's going to be. You know,
I think that's the thing.
Yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah,
that's the thing. That's
they do.
Wait a minute, that's we said what?
Yeah, like Bron. I think Bron's been having cameras following around for like the past 2 years.
Yes, of course.
That's what I'm saying. I think the cameras already roll. The cameras is already rolling. The cameras have to be rolling because it's all.
He wants his flout. LeBron is the peak, all in the videos ass nigga. There's no way he's not getting a from farewell tour. There's no way.
While I agree with you, if look at it like this. Again, do you want a farewell tour, or do you want the greatest ending in the history of sports? There would literally be no person that would end their career at the status that LeBron James had the way he could end it now. It could have been Mike, but Mike decided to try to, come back and sell tickets for the Washington Wizards. This right here even eclipsed that. It eclipsed final shot, Mike. There would be Tom Brady.
I'll stop this whole goddamn show right now.
Bro, it would, bro.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
It would, bro.
I disagree with that. If Luka's dominating in this finals and he's the finals MVP, I think it dampers that.
No, it doesn't.
LeBron,
I think it dampers that.
For that to happen, we would have to say LeBron James will have to fall the fuck off. He has not shown a sign to fall the fuck off. He averaged 24.4 points per game. Ooh, like Luka can dominate, but he still gonna need that man.
James.
I'm not saying he's not gonna lead him, but that don't mean he can't have a better series and be MVP. Jason Tatum needs Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown still won Finals MVP.
I'm trying to tell you, G.
He will still win a title. Still in the prime at fucking 40. Becomes all-time leading scorer in NBA history and in playoff history.
Scott, question.
Wait a minute. I'm not talking about what just happens in the finals. We're talking about the entire fucking season, entire everything. There's been nobody at the legendary status of what LeBron James is right now that will ever end a season potentially as he can. Until somebody can tell me what's the better ending of what this man did this season, how this man continued to play this season, and he win a title. He don't need to win no fucking MVP. He just needs to win it and still be LeBron James.
Also, question: what if they beat the Celtics?
Okay, that's a different conversation. If they beat the Celtics, yes. If they beat the Celtics, yes.
It's not gonna happen. But what if they beat the Celtics?
What if they beat the Celtics? This is not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. But what if they beat the Celtics?
If it does, yes, then I have to. Yes.
Crazier thing. Hey, crazier thing. Look, I feel y'all. I'm not. I agree to Boston. This is the Boston Celtics Invitational. But crazier things have happened. And the nigga that was at the head of the crazier things has happened is LeBron fucking James.
And that nigga was also 9 years younger when he did the crazier things have happened. It was also 9 years younger. That's all I'm saying.
I ain't saying you wrong. All I'm saying is, nigga, the fairy tale ending is fucking possible. And if that nigga defeats the Boston Celtics.
But see, this is a good question. Orlando
come back. Like, don't come back. Like, if I'm his mama, if I'm goddamn Rich Paul, Mav, all them niggas, nigga, I will break your fucking ankle and you won't play next year.
No,
you're not about to fuck up this ending.
I agree with that. Like I said, if he wins, you can say he's a goat and I have no problem with it. I just had a problem with
that nigga broke the trophy.
Unquestionably, it's crazy. But yeah, Orlando's that's why this playoffs is funny, because it's like Orlando put in the check. The Lakers can also lose in the first round. That's why I think that that's why it's also so many different things.
Scott, wait a minute, but real quick, Scott, I'm just gonna say this too. If them niggas lose in the first round, I don't want to hear shit from nobody about this shit. That's the other part. I don't want to hear shit about LeBron James being anything if this nigga lose in the first round and you got Luka with him. That's that question.
Lose to a deadbeat?
Nigga, yes, that nigga. If that nigga lose to Anthony Edwards, nigga, and yes,
niggas are like, see what happens when you take care of your kids. You lose in the first round.
Wait a minute, the deadbeat and Randall, and White Dante. Nigga, don't talk to me about shit if that were to happen.
What a question. Bang, who getting a better end in their career, John Cena or LeBron?
Oh, John Cena. The way that they ending this, that nigga gonna win on Sunday, and that nigga gonna have a run like never before, telling little white kids that they ain't shit. John Cena. Bar none.
I said JJ's Redick is not going to hot seat anytime soon. Them niggas playing like two coaches already. He's gonna be there for a long haul. If they lose the first time, they gonna tell LeBron, all right, old man, get up out of here. It's Luka time. But let's go to the other two I got, which is kind of funny. We kind of covered it already. Can OKC and the Cavs actually make the finals? This is a big storyline to me as well. The top two seeds in the NBA right now. I think there's a lot riding on the line for Oklahoma more than it is the Cavs. Nobody saw the season from the Cavs happening. I think if the Cavs even made it to the East Conference Finals and lost, I think this is a pretty successful season for them, and they have something that they can build on. With the Thunder, I don't want to see it's now or never for the Thunder because it's not. But the Thunder don't make it, at least make it to NBA Finals this year. That's some decisions they got to get made. It's going to be a very expensive team very soon. So I feel like, yes, they have to absolutely make the finals. And I do believe that they're going to make the finals. I understand all the criticisms of it. Can Jay Will actually do the things he does in the regular season and actually be that guy to help Shea out? Is it going to be too much Shea going 105? What's Chet going to do? What are they going to do against some of the veteran teams? These are legit questions, but I think that this is a team that just hasn't had nothing to play for months because they've run away with the Western Conference. That now I believe they're going to lock in. They're going to get it done. They're going to learn from what happened last season. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, are playing with house money. I think everybody outside of the Ohio area thinks they're going to lose to the Boston Celtics. But they should take that and think that, hey, if we lose this, it's whatever. But if we win, it's going to be even better. So I think both teams have a great chance. But I really, really love OKC's chance more, and I believe that there's a lot more riding on the line for them. Pat, what do you think about the chances both of these teams can make the finals, and who has more pressure heading into the playoffs?
Definitely the Thunder. The reason why the Thunder is because, like you just said, this team is gonna get very expensive in the very near future. Like Chet gonna have to get his money. Shea already got his money. Jalen gonna have to get his money. Carson Edwards gonna get $100 million. Like this team is gonna get very, very expensive. And if they do something like, I think they have to at least make the conference finals, and at least it be a very competitive conference finals, or else you might have to shake this team up a lot. They also have a whole bunch of picks. They have so many picks, they probably can't even use all these picks. Like we just talked about them possibly going out and trading for Giannis or trading for whoever. There are going to be superstars and they're going to come up disgruntled. And if this is a team that falls short of the things that we expect for them, like I said, I think they have to at least get to the conference finals. You can't have this season and lose in the semifinals again. No, you got to at least go conference finals. I'm not going to say it, but you got to at least go conference finals, or else you got to shake some things up. As far as Cleveland goes, yeah, I think Cleveland has a real shot. I think that, yes, I think Boston is the best team, but I think that Cleveland can pose a problem because I think Cleveland can play in different ways in which Boston plays, right? I think Cleveland can play big. And Boston, obviously is going to take a whole bunch of threes. But even in the games in which you've seen them play, I think there was one game, I forgot when they went up like 30-10, and then they cut the game close, and a few people on the Cavs didn't even play that night. So I definitely think if they maxed up, it wouldn't be as easy as I think people assume it would be. I do think it would be a contested series, but out of those two people, who I would give the best chance to make the finals, obviously would be the Thunder. But yes, I'm with you. I think that the clock is ticking. Unfortunately, the clock is ticking on this team because even with the second apron and things of that nature, a lot of these teams not gonna get the chances to stay together very long. So yeah.
Tosin, Cleveland and OKC, who has the better chance and who has the most pressure?
OKC has the better chance and the most pressure. Like Pat was saying, they got a whole lot of money coming down. And then for Boston, for Cleveland, they're playing against Boston. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's getting knee injections for his knee. He's getting pain injections. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But I just don't see them beating the Celtics. Like maybe the Celtics beat them in 6. I think that would be it. But with the Thunder, they got so much they're arguably, one of the best teams in the league, and they've been cruising all season. So it's more so just are you really going to are you going to just be a regular season team or are you going to be a postseason team? Can you put it all together? So a lot's going to be riding on them, especially Shea. So, less menswear and let's really see what you're going to do on the court, Shea.
Less menswear. Bang, are you going to complete the sweep?
Yeah, this is all on OKC. When you have the record that they've had the last 2 years, the most pressure is on them. Nobody expected the Cleveland Cavaliers to have the season that they had, but we expected OKC to do at least 90% of what they've done. We didn't think they was going to run the table in the way that they ran the table, though. This has been a dominant team in the regular season, not just a team that's won. They've been dominant. Barely have had a close game this season. The number of games that they've won by more than 10 points is astronomical. So, and that's not even a word that I use daily. So with that being said, they got all the pressure on them to get to the finals, especially if they end up going to the finals against the Lakers. This is all on them.
Final thing, and I think we pretty much all answered. The biggest storyline to me is, will the Boston Celtics repeat? This is, there's a Celtic documentary going on right now. The Celtics have not repeated since the 60s. Bill Russell era Boston Celtics. Larry Legend Celtics did not get it done, and Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen's Boston Celtics did not get it done. I think, yes, this is their NBA Finals to lose. I think, like you just said, this is, for all the reasons we just named, this could probably be the most important NBA playoffs of all time. And I think this team is better than it was last year. They were damn good last year. They were historical last year. If you want to be real, they busted everybody ass in the playoffs last year. I don't think it's going to be as clean maybe as we've seen, because I do believe the East is a lot tougher than it was last year. But I think the dominance is going to be there. I think it's something that Bang said a whole year ago. He said, look, if this team gets one, they're going to run off a couple. And the number one reason I'm that confident about it, and Tosin, I know you mentioned with Jaylen Brown and getting his knee drained, Jason Tatum is playing like the guy that I personally wanted to play like for a long time. He looks aggressive, and he ain't been doing some of the passive stuff that myself and plenty others have criticized him from. Now, you got to see that happen in the playoffs, but I'm very confident he can do that. This team is so deep that even if Jaylen Brown is maybe not 100%, this team is deep enough to get it done. They know what it takes to win the NBA championship, and defensively, they're smothering. And that's why I feel like unless you just have an astronomical mess up or a big-time injury, I see no reason why this team shouldn't win back-to-back NBA championships. Pat, do you think the Celtics will repeat?
Yes, I do. I did know Jaylen Brown was getting knee injections. I think that's definitely a storyline. But I think if they are healthy and they have their team on the court, especially if they have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the court, I still think that they're the best team in basketball. So yes, I think they're going to repeat.
Go ahead, Tosin. My bad if y'all hear my dog barking in the background. Go ahead.
You're good. I think they're gonna win. It was, and I mentioned this before. I'm trying to remember his name. The dude from Fox Sports. He runs that talk show. What's his name again?
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd. He praised Jason Tatum. He's basically saying like Jason is literally the leader of this team, where he's the one that's playing every single game and he's leading by example. You're starting to see Jason become a man. Like he's no longer become Deuce's father. He's Jason now. So he's actually becoming like an adult in the room. So his game is matured and he's gonna lead them all the way. So I think that they're obviously favorites. They're heads over everybody else. So it's really just down to them. And it helps that they got a coach who's really good as well. A bit of a psychopath, a lot of a psychopath, not a bit, a lot. But I think that having that a really good coach plus a really good team, they're clearly the favorites. So it's really down to them.
Bang, when we see a repeat.
As I said before, I say it again. You gave this team a title and they're going to rail off 2 or 3. So I expect them to not only win this season, I expect them to win next season.
Oh, look, you got 3-peating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When Kevin Durant comes to Boston, that's a whole nother.
Yeah. I got the 3-peating, Jack. I got the 3-peating.
I was gonna do our 4 teams most likely win the title, but I think we all answered that question. So let's go on to the play-in tournament, which kicks off tomorrow night. We're just gonna go through both games, or all 4 games, give our picks for both. So let's start with the Wednesday game. We've got the Orlando Magic, who have been ravaged by injuries for a large part of the season. I do not believe they're a 7-seeded team. I think that if they're healthy, they probably will be, in the 4 or 5 range. And the Atlanta Hawks, which have been a very, very up and down ride for them all season. Sometimes they look good, a lot of times they look bad. But in this one, I know that Orlando is the better team, but I think that Trae Young is the best player in this series. I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I don't feel that confident about it, but I'm gonna go with Atlanta because I feel like when it comes to playoff time, anything you want to say about Trae Young. Trae Young gets a lot of shit. He's not Luka. He's not this. He's not that. The Atlanta Hawks don't be doing shit. But he is a primetime player. Just ask New York Knicks fans. So I'm going to go with the Atlanta Hawks to move on and be the 7th seed, and they'll go to Boston. Warriors or Grizzlies. This is going to be a good nightcap. I can see this game going either way, but I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors because Steph Curry, even though the Warriors have not won a playing game, which is funny, Steph Curry and the Warriors are winless in the playing game, while Jimmy Butler is undefeated in the playing game. So that's an interesting stat right there. They just ran into a really, really good team, the Clippers. The Clippers are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. But I just don't like anything about the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't like the way they ended the season. Ja Morant has not looked like the same Ja Morant this year. And they have a new coach who, it has not been going good since they got rid of Taylor Jenkins. So I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors, and they will be heading to Houston. Pat, who you got in these first two playing games on Wednesday?
I'm gonna go with the Magic, but I do want to give the Hawks some credit because I think the Hawks too would have had a better season. But Jalen Johnson got hurt, who was playing at a borderline all-star level before he got hurt, and also Zachary Ricochet. Once they got rid of DeAndre Hunter, I feel like he's been coming on a lot. So yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Magic to win this game. I actually think Paolo is the best player in this game, not Trae Young. All due respect to Trae Young, but I think Paolo is the best player in this game, and I think the Magic would be a better team if they hadn't had gotten so hurt this season. So I'm gonna go with them, the Magic to win. As far as the Grizzlies Warriors game, I want to go Grizzlies just to shake things up, but no, I'm gonna go Warriors. I think they'll win this game. I think that they know that they let one get away with the Clippers game, and I think that they probably think that they shouldn't be playing right now. They should be at home resting. But I know Jimmy Butler did get like kneed in the thigh, and he was like limping around at like near the end of the game. So I don't know if that's something to watch for. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Warriors to win this game. Playing the Grizzlies, and I think they want to get also revenge. Remember that year that they knocked them out the playoffs in the play-in? So
the bubble playing.
Yeah. So
well, not the bubble playing, but like the cardboard cutout half people in the playing. Tosin, how you got Wednesday's games rolling?
I got the Magic and the Warriors. Like Pat said, I think Paolo's the best player in the court. The Hawks are a little bit hurt, and I just think that the Magic just have just a little bit more than the Hawks, so I think they're gonna go that way. Also, if you guys seen Prison Break, Quinn Snyder looks exactly like Mahone, the guy on Prison Break. He looks just like him. And the Warriors, I think that they got a little bad taste in their mouth from losing to the Clippers, like the way they did. They should have beat them. They fumbled around, they messed around a bit. So I think they got that, just like we got a chip on our shoulder. And I just don't see the Grizzlies as being a serious team. But Ja Morant's celebration is hilarious. That grenade shit is so funny. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, you're such an unserious human being. Like, it's just, yeah. Bang, what you got going on Monday? I mean, on Monday, but Wednesday.
Do I really care? Like,
I mean, I don't care about none of these games, to be very clear, but
I guess I'll pick the Magic. And of course the Warriors. If the Warriors lose this, then we're gonna have a different conversation around Steph and stuff too. Dead ass. So yeah, the Warriors and the Magic, I'll go with.
All right, let's go to Wednesdays. I said Tuesday. Wednesday's action now. The goddamn Chicago Bulls will be at the United Center hosting the Miami Heat in the Jerry Reinsdorf I got you niggas again classic. I do not want the Bulls to win this game. It's very clear. You have nothing to gain from making the NBA playoffs. Absolutely nothing to gain. Even though the chances of you getting a top 3 pick are extremely low, damn near minuscule. I'd rather have that chance than to go to playoffs and just get washed off the face of by Cleveland or Boston. Well, not Boston, because they can't get the 7th seed, but Cleveland. I want no parts of that whatsoever. Having said all that, unfortunately, they will win this game. They play pretty good at home. Well, they play better on the road at home. They do this shit. But in the playoff atmosphere type crowd, it's going to be a lot of loud idiots in there. It's going to be a lot of people who are going to be spending all their money to see what that crowd's going to be like. And the Heat just aren't that good post Jimmy Butler. It's just really not that good. Bulls blew them out the last 2 times they played them. I think it'll be a big game for Kobe White, big game for Josh Giddey, and I even think Montas gives a moment or two. Unfortunately, I got the Bulls winning this one. And in the nightcap, this is an interesting game. 2 mediocre clubs. As somebody who has had Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan on his team the last couple of years, I know how this offense is going to look. I like Anthony Davis. I like the Dallas Mavericks, but they do not have Kyrie Irving. If they had Kyrie Irving, they would not be the 10th seed in the Western Conference. And I just think I like them being at home, the Kings being at home a little bit more. So I'm going to go with the Kings in this one. Very, very close ball game. Wouldn't shock me if the Mavericks win, but I'm going to go Kings. I got Bulls and Kings. So that means I've got the Atlanta Hawks going on to face the Boston Celtics. Then I'll have the Bulls take on the Orlando Magic, which is a game the Bulls could also win. But we'll get into Friday in a minute. Pav, how you got the Wednesday games going?
I have the Bulls winning. The Bulls have been playing great basketball. Also, Tyler Hero the other day when they got locked into the 10th seed, took one of the worst shots I've ever seen in the history of the game of basketball. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, he stole the ball from Kobe White. I think they were down 4. He had a 1-on-none break, pulled up for 3 and missed it. That was the worst shot in the history of basketball. I just want to say that. But I'm going with the Bulls to win this basketball game, man. And actually, I do think, like, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but I think there is a
Pat
point.
just say that because he wants me to be a miserable Bulls fan.
No,
He's not want me to have joy as a basketball fan.
No. Listen, I do think that there is a point to them making the playoffs. I think it's said. Listen, I think it's something to be said for getting playoff experience. I also think that, like, they finally did what everybody, like Bang said last time, they finally did what everybody wanted them to do, and it's actually probably working out. It's working out better than what people wanted it to work out. And I also think that you quite possibly have your star of the future on your team in Matas Buzelis. So yeah. And as far as in the Western Conference, I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks. If Anthony Davis plays like Anthony Davis and not the Anthony Davis that showed up against the Lakers, they should win this game. And fast forward, I'm having the Bulls beating the Hawks to actually make the playoffs. And I think the Grizzlies will beat Dallas. I swear to God, I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas ended up making the AFC.
Right, exactly.
I swear to God, I wouldn't be shocked. And if they made the AFC, they're not gonna beat the Thunder, but they can make it a contested series in every game.
Well, since Pav gave us Friday, I'll give my Friday real quick. I got Bulls. I hate that I'm gonna say this. The Bulls gonna beat the Orlando Magic. It pisses me off. The Bulls gonna beat the Orlando Magic. They're gonna go to Cleveland, and they're probably gonna lose in like 5. It's gonna be that game 4 where they're about to get swept, and then the Cavs do some dumb shit at the end that gives the Bulls the win. I've seen this more times than I can count. That's what's gonna happen over there in the Western Conference. You're gonna have the Kings. They're going to lose to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I got the Grizzlies going on to play. You got Shea versus Ja, which should be a little entertaining right there. And I got the Mavs up out of here, man. So, Tosin, what you got for Wednesday and how you got Friday playing out?
The Bulls are going to make you sad and make the playoffs. I'm skipping Friday. I'm just here just to make sure you sad, Scott. That's all the Bulls are here for, to make you fucking sad. they here to piss you off.
That's all they're here for.
Yeah, Pat, by the way, with Tyler Hero, he has the worst clutch field goal percentage in the NBA this season. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, I saw that shot. And I was like, yo, just go for the layup. Why are you being a dickhead? And then they hit the 3 right after. Like, yo, why are you doing that? But whatever. Then who else we have on Wednesday? We have the Mavericks and the
Mavericks
Kings.
and the Kings. Yeah.
We all lost watching that. Truly. We
Go
all
to
lost
sleep,
watching
America.
Yeah.
Go to sleep with that game. Come on.
I mean, I guess I got the Kings, man. I don't really trust the Mavericks. Like Anthony Davis I feel bad for him. He does not want to be there at all.
No,
like he's like, yo, why am I here? So he's checked out, and that's their best player. So, and the Kings, I just don't trust them, man. Like it's just they're a weird team. But yeah, the Grizzlies gonna end up beating the Kings, and it's gonna be Ja versus Shea, and
good versus evil.
Hey man, I'm trying
Canadian
to think of
versus YN.
Hey, I'm trying to take that YN word out my lexicon. I'm trying so hard. But John Morant, man, listen, love the guy, but he definitely needs to go to betterhelp.com. That's where he needs to go for sure. That's where he needs to go.
Bang, Wednesday, and what you got playing out on Friday?
The Bulls defeating the Heat, and I got the Mavs defeating the Kings. So who would I have going up against each other? I have the Bulls versus the Magic, right? Yeah. So I got the Bulls winning that. And what's that? The Mavs versus the Warriors. I got the Warriors doing that one.
Bang, we out of game 3. We out in game 3.
Who was that?
We out. When niggas going to game 3, what's going on? Niggas going to game 3 for
nah.
They're not getting a dime of my money. Let's be very clear. I have not been to a Bulls game in 3 years.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something else. Oh, if y'all niggas go to game 3 to celebrate the goddamn playoffs and shit and
mediocre,
be outside and y'all wild. No, fam. No, you should get robbed, okay?
And also, where you gonna put your drink? There ain't no cup holders.
Right, exactly. Where you gonna put your drink? And the nice looking bars they got down there. They got the bar area. It looks very, very nice over there now. But you got nowhere to put your bit. Or your little Geno's pizza you get. Good luck. But that's all we've got on basketball. Pav, as usual, thank you for joining us on NBA Pav Monday. And Bang gets some time off early. Look at that. Bang gets to go off and have some time off early, man.
I'll see y'all niggas next Monday.
Next Monday. Yeah. Bang will not be here on Friday. He will be renewing Black Love. So on Friday, it will be me, Dante, and Mariano will be back as we're going to give our picks for the first round. But after this quick break, me and Tosin going to talk some soccer, man. We got a new segment called Soccer for Dummies coming on here, where we're going to go through like a couple topics, and you're going to have a novice like myself go up against somebody who knows the sport like the back of his hand. So, Pat, I know you got some stuff coming, so let them know what's going on.
Yeah, the Bachelor 2 is finally coming out. I'll announce when it's coming out, probably this week or next week, but just know it's really, really soon. And I've been putting out some records, so if y'all haven't checked out all the things, if you haven't checked out It Could Be That Way, if you haven't checked out Thoughts Down Beverly Glen, Amex My ID, you can find that Pavers.com, or you just type in Pavy, wherever you like to stream music at. And yeah.
Bang, y'all, you got 2 new pods out right now.
Yes, sir. We got last week's episode of Some Dude is out right now. We got the WrestleMania predictions episode of First Black Champ. So hey, y'all go ahead and check out that. We're gonna do Some Dude. We're gonna record it tomorrow and air it this week as well. So we'll be talking more about this renewal and everything else that's going on. So shouts out to Black Love. Shouts out to my youngest 4th birthday. And we out here.
That's right. Follow both of them, man. We're going to take a 1-minute break, and then me and Tosin be back on the other side for the first edition of Soccer for Dummies. We'll be right back here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. We've got a new segment we're going to debut here on the show. Me and the homie Tosin, man. If you're not familiar with my man's background, man, he's got a very informative podcast, man. Let them know about it for people who don't know about this show.
Yeah, so this pink jersey right here, Shirtless Plantain Show, we are 3 Nigerians and a couple of our co-hosts who we bring up from time to time. We talk about soccer in the most ridiculous ways. We watch everything, literally every European league we watch it, Champions League, Europa League, German league. It doesn't matter, whatever. We're watching something about soccer. We decide every time Arsenal plays, there's an Arsenal edition. Man United plays, I'll do a thing on TikTok and Instagram. Then we do a weekend review. That's everything we saw. So we just try to infuse our own knowledge about the sport with just our insane ways of looking at the sport. That's really all we do. So we actually have a new episode that came out today that talked about everything that happened this weekend. So that's live on YouTube if you look up Shirtless Plantain Show.
Look up Shirtless Plantain. I've been watching the Arsenal pods, as you can see on my head right here. I'm still the Gooner is just kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like the internet ruined that name for fans. Because somebody tweeted me, was like, "Oh, you a fellow Gooner?" I got to feel like, nigga, what? Like, and then I had to like look it up. I was like, "Oh, that's what you mean." I was like, "Yeah, I guess." But in this segment, man, I want to do this segment because this sport is like my new obsession. Like, I have watched so much over the last month that I think in a year from now might be my second favorite sport after the NFL. Obviously, NFL is religion. Like, the NFL is just another level. But what I love about the sport in the month that I've watched, first of all, the atmospheres are insane. Like, even for niggas who about to get relegated, like that Wolves game and Tottenham, and I have learned to hate Tottenham. People explain the beat to me. I remember actually when the Bears went to go play at Tottenham, and shout out our super producer Nikhil. And Nikhil was like, "Oh, I could never actually step in that stadium." Now that I know the beef, I understand now. I was like, I was on the outfield, but it makes all the sense in the world. But even with these teams who about to get relegated, the crowds are just like insane, like over the top insane. So the atmosphere is crazy. The sport is actually really, really good. And there's a lot of, I think what made me able to pick it up very quickly, if you want to compare, it's probably the closest sport to hockey a little bit. Probably like the close one, like comparison wise, like obviously not the same sport, but a lot of things remind me of hockey. And so why the rules I knew never was easy to pick up. But there's a couple things I still don't understand. I want to get into that to start the segment. First of all, I know what offsides is now that everybody explained it to me, but I still can't, like when I see it, I don't know it right away. Like I saw a call yesterday, and I think it was in a Liverpool game. And I was like, that's offside. And then they called nothing. And then there was something that was offsides, and I didn't see it. What's the best way to kind of pick what offsides is?
I mean, so I'm a former referee, so I literally have to study the laws of the game.
We got to find out how that happened.
I needed money, and that was the only way I could get a job was being a referee. I hated being a cop, man. That shit was gross. I felt like Denzel on Training Day. I had to be a crooked cop. I kick people's parents out. But being outside is basically like, it's obviously 11 men, but the last defender, right? So if the last defender, if your foot or any part of your body you can use to score, so like if your head or like your shoulder, because if you use your shoulder, you can kind of score with your shoulder. But if your shoulder, your foot, any sort of like body part that's legal to score, if that's ahead of the defender, that's offsides. That's basically like, that's the most simple way I can put it.
Best way is like it prevents cherry picking. Like
you can't cherry pick. Effectively,
Okay, that makes sense. Now here's the number one beef I have with soccer.
Okay.
Draws piss me off. Like, and I know you said it's the most American thing I've ever said in my life. I don't understand why, if it's a draw, why can't we do a penalty shoot off like they do in like cup games that you need a winner? Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
So in the league, like it's a point accumulation in the league, right? So the league is basically from August till, and MLS is different, but each league is like that, like where you have the league from August till May, and it's a point system, right? So like each game you get a point for drawing, you get 3 points for winning, and 0 points for losing. So the team with the most points at the end wins. So like when you're in a league format, the draws count towards that point system. But if you're in a cup, like let's say you're in the quarterfinals with Real Madrid, right? Like there's no point system in that. Like in the group stages, there's points, but like when you're quarterfinals with Real Madrid or like the semis, since there's no points, how do you determine a winner? Extra time. If extra time no one scores in that, you go to penalties. That's why there's a big difference, because cups is like, So does that make sense?
I mean, so basically they still get a point. It's why they do it.
Yeah,
I just feel like sometimes, so I've watched 4 Arsenal matches, and I've seen 2 Premier League games.
Mm-hmm.
5 matches, 3 Premier League games, 2 Champions League. So, well, this would be the second Champions League. And so I just feel empty at the draws. Like I feel empty. Like I woke up at 6:30 in the morning to see these niggas not win again. And like, I understand you get a point, but it's also funny when you see the crowd reaction and the reaction of the players, because both teams, unless this like something where this point took you into a certain spot or this got you the Premier League title, they're both like, damn, nigga, like we just played for 2 hours and this is what it come down to. So yeah, it makes sense. But in my head, I'm like, let's just do a fucking penalty shootout. Let's just wrap it up so niggas can get points. But I guess that does make a little bit of sense. Now, my final question for you before we get on to the actual topics we have is how would you rank the importance of all the different competitions? Because it's also funny to me that, let's just say the Arsenal. So Liverpool has the title wrapped up. I don't think they're gonna hoist it this week because I don't think we're gonna lose the Ipswich. That's how you pronounce them niggas' names.
Yeah, no, they're gonna get relegated. Y'all should beat them this weekend.
Yeah, like we should. If we don't put up at least 3 goals in them, there's a problem. So we should at least beat them. So, but they're gonna clinch within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but it's funny that we didn't win the Premier League, but we can still be champions of Europe. So, like, how would you rank the cups, and how would you also say what is respectable enough to have a parade? Like, I know Newcastle had a parade for Carabao Cup. Get it? They ain't won a championship since like 1955, so it makes sense that they have some type of parade. But I saw that the time Manchester United won the FA Cup, niggas like, we ain't throwing a fucking parade for that shit. Not granted, very, very decorated franchise. How would you rank the cups?
Premier League is always the top for me. Always number one is to win your league, but Champions League is literally like 1B to that because you get to talk shit, and then FA Cup is right after that. So it's like, how do I explain this for Germany and so each league has their own version of the FA Cup, right? Like Germany is the Pokal, Paris in France is the Trophies of Champions. I think that's the name of it. Italy has the Coppa d'Italia. So each one has their own thing, but I always think that is below the Champions League. The league is always number one. Champions League is literally right there with the league. And then that third. So if you win all 3, that's how you win a treble, right?
Treble.
So so there's only 2 English teams that ever win a treble, which is Manchester United in 99 and City. Yeah. And then Real Madrid's won a couple, like they've won like 2 trebles. Barcelona's won 2. Bayern Munich's won like 2 as well. And like that's, and then Celtic, but there's like really few and fair between teams that really won an actual treble. So yeah, it's the league title for me, Champions League, and then your domestic cup. But Carabao Cup is so funny because it's a lesser version of the FA Cup in a sense. Like the FA Cup is like the longest running like soccer trophy in the world ever. Like it's been since like 1895.
So FA Cup is longer than all of them.
Yeah. So yeah, the league system is basically like came after the FA Cup, and like, there's promotion, relegation, all that stuff within the leagues in every major European league. So yeah.
And that's the number one thing I love about soccer. Relegation. I tell you, it will never happen in American sports, but I wish it would. You want to stop niggas from tanking? There you go. There you go. One team I am rooting for to get to the Premier League is only because I fuck with the TV show. I'm rooting for Wrexham to get into the Premier League.
Yo, so here's something crazy about Wrexham. They've had like back-to-back promotions. So this year they started off
back-to-back. Yeah.
So they could probably end up in the championship next year, which is the league below the Premier League, which is insane. So
yeah, they're in a battle right now. I've been looking at the stand. They're in a battle for that attack that 2 spot, so they don't make the playoff.
Yeah. It's just insane. Yeah.
And that's what I love about it too. Like, what I love about it is the regular season means something. That's my biggest beef with him. As much as I love Major League Baseball, but the regular season don't really mean shit, at least till after 4th of July. Like, after All-Star, right? To me, the MLB, if you even glance at the Major League Baseball standings before you had a burger on July 4th, you need your ass whooped. Like, I saw a Cub fan, we beat the Dodgers yesterday. Nigga, it's April. Like
season just started.
Mookie Betts is probably out last night. Like, the niggas is not paying attention to what's going on. Like, even though it's like the same length as the NBA season, but it's just so much more attention to detail. And that's what I love about it, man. So let's get into the second leg of the Champions League, which kicks off tomorrow. And then there's some on Wednesday as well. So we're going to go with the games on Tuesday. So you got Dortmund taking on Barcelona. Barcelona won last week, blew them out 4-0. And then Aston Villa We back at the crib taking on PSG. PSG won 3-1 last week as well. Two things I took from last week is, first of all, Barcelona got some young nigga. I don't know how to pronounce his name yet, but
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, that nigga's cold, bro. That nigga's cold. Yeah. And I know both you and shout out my man Serge, when I brought out Barcelona, you was like, yo, them niggas is broke. But they got like a squad of young niggas right now. From these two games, and I do believe that PSG is going to win this game. But I do believe Aston Villa got a little bit more of a chance playing at their stadium more than I give Dortmund at all. What do you think about tomorrow's games?
I think they're wrapped up. I think PSG getting that third goal really wrapped it up. I just don't see Aston Villa being, because they have to go gung-ho, right? They have to go get at least 3 goals to qualify, right? And the worst thing you could do to PSG is try to attack them, because now they're going to sit back and just count your ass. And they got enough fast players. I mean, you can look him up right now. Bradley Barcola looks just like Babyface Ray. Literally looks just like Babyface Ray.
Yo, did you notice that Mo Salah looks like Kobe White?
Yeah, a lot of these soccer players look like people. Like Raheem Sterling, Ed Davis, and YG look like the same person. If you all look him up, they all look like the same person. But it's wild because Aston Villa are historically one of the bigger English teams. They finally they got really good upper management now, so they're a lot more competitive. But I just think PSG right now they won League on the French league. They've probably won the last 13 of the last 16. It's absurd, but they're now more of a collective as a team. I think when PSG first got their Qatari owners, they were trying to buy everybody and trying to make super squads. Now they actually have a team that's a collective unit where everybody's buying into what the coach is trying to sell. So if any game is close, it will be this one, but I just don't see it happening for Aston Villa. I think that PSG is just a little bit strong, that much stronger than them. And then as far as Barcelona, I mean, shit, God bless. You're already up 4-0. So Pedri winning the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, we got a comment right here.
Gustavo, you got a little bit too much dip on your chip, man. We're not giving that to Pedri this year, man. I think Pedri's one of the best players in the world. I 100% think he's one of the best midfielders in the world. But I think if anybody wins Ballon d'Or from Barcelona, it'll be Rafinha, actually. So, yeah.
So that's basically, is that like the MVP award?
Ballon d'Or is basically the best player in the world.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Literally. So, not just Europe, the whole entire globe. Yeah.
So that was the war that was dominated by Messi and Ronaldo for 15 years.
They were going back. They were going back and forth like they were a cipher. That's what I was telling about David Beckham when I texted you that in '99, Beckham was the second best player in the world. He should have won it, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
Shout out my boy Bex. Now let's go to Wednesday, a game that I have cleared out my schedule for. So all my work will be done at 2 p.m. Arsenal and Real Madrid playing for the right to advance to the semifinals. Now, this competition has pretty much been dominated by them. They're trying to go for the 16th Europe Cup here. I actually watched it. One thing I didn't know, there's a lot of soccer documentaries out. So I watched one on Real Madrid winning the 14th one, and they were talking about how Vinny Jr., how he really stepped into the spotlight that year after starting so rough Real Madrid. Now, I have been told about the Real Madrid devil magic that happens at their home stadium. I personally have not seen it, but I have heard that it makes Mahomes' devil magic look like play. So even though I feel pretty good about a 3-0 lead, as a lifetime Chicago sports fan, I'm expecting anything, because in the history of my teams that didn't have Michael Jeffrey Jordan on them, clinching never really goes right. What do you think about this particular game? Because there's a lot of different ways. Arteta loves to play defense and just hold niggas to not scoring. I don't necessarily feel like you can do that in this game. You're going to open up the door for them. But at the same time, Real Madrid defensively just ain't shit. Why do you see this game playing out?
So it's been 700 plus days since anyone scored more than 3 goals on Arsenal. I think Arsenal, for me, are a top 5. And this is somebody who professionally hates Arsenal. People who are listening right now don't know. I've told Scott this in our text message, but I, as a kid, right, I am 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years old in London, right? I am legitimately fighting against Arsenal. I'm talking about during recess, before school, after school, we're literally throwing hands as kids. So I hate Arsenal from my soul. But as somebody who can be objective about the sport, who generally loves the sport, I think right now there's not too many teams better defensively than Arsenal. I think when you have someone like Jurgen Timber on the right side, and you have, who I think was one of the best young center backs in the world, William Saliba, and then Kyrgios, who's stepping up for Gabriel, who's out, who I think is one of the best center backs too. Gabriel and Saliba, probably the best two combinations together as center backs. Then you have Miles Lewis-Skelly. Then it helps when you have like your midfield where Declan Rice is a grown man. Bukayo Saka is going to lead your attack. So I think Arsenal have enough about them defensively to not concede 3 goals against Real Madrid. I think the only thing is you have to be mentally locked in, because Madrid they're coming. They want to come for blood. They have all this lore, but I just think that Madrid, like, they have a really, really nice like upper body, but they skip leg day, and Arsenal are going to kick the shit out of them. So I think a lot of Arsenal fans, I'm friends with a lot of Arsenal fans, they're very concerned. And I'm just like, I don't know how I'm this calm for your own team, but then again, it's because you don't support the team. So I think objectively, I don't see Real Madrid scoring on Arsenal like that. It's going to be tough, but I think Arsenal going to be fine. I really think they're going to be fine.
Remember when Van Jones said, he became the president of the United States today? That's how I felt in the last game, in the Champions League game. I was reacting like I've been rooting for this team for 30 years. I was like, this is the day he became an Arsenal fan. I feel from just in the short time that I've been watching both teams, I remember when I first said, "Oh yeah, Real Madrid, they like the 2017 Warriors or something." And you was like, "Not really. Like, them niggas just get away with a lot of shit." And the more I watch it, they really do. Now, I think that yes, they're in a good spot to the point that even if you get a goal or two, like, they gotta really like play catch up. Like you just said, nobody has scored more than 3+ goals in them in a long time. I like their chances, but not even as an Arsenal fan, because I ain't been an Arsenal fan long enough for me to have these concerns. As a Chicago sports fan, in any team that I root for, I'm nervous just off of that. But I do like their chances, and I do think they're gonna win. I do think that eventually Real Madrid, you are the team that you are, and I think even with this and in the La Liga race, we see in Barcelona, they're pretty much, even though the point said that Real Madrid is in it, they're not really in it. And Mbappe, that's a question I asked for you. What do you think about that kick? That when I first saw it yesterday when I was watching the match, I was like, it don't look that bad. Then I saw the replay. I was like, nah, that nigga did that on purpose.
It always looks bad in slow motion, but I've never seen Mbappe do some shit like that in my life. I'm just like, damn. But no, I wouldn't count Mbappe out in a big game, but I just also feel like, bro, it's Arsenal defensively. And I'm about to get real nerdy real quick because a lot of people don't understand how long I've been watching soccer. So Mikel Arteta played under 2 Scottish managers, Alex McLeish at Rangers, David Moyes at Everton. This man is a mid-table legend for Everton, where this guy played with teams who basically knew how to sit back defensively. Mikel Arteta, for all he likes to attack, he's also a defensive bastard, right? He loves defense. Like, that's his thing. When he was playing, he was a really good defensive midfielder. So that's the one thing about Mikel Arteta's teams, that they're set up really well defensively. So as good as Mbappe is, I'm just like, this is a man who loves defending. Like, that gets him turned on, right? Set pieces and defending turns Mikel Arteta on. So I'm just like, I do love Mbappe. I think Mbappe is going to go down as one of the greatest players that ever played the game. But you're also talking about a manager who loves dark arts and loves sitting back. So, I'm really excited for this because the hater in me is going to laugh either way. I'm going to laugh at Madrid, I'm going to laugh at Arsenal. Either way, I win. Okay, so that's it for me.
It'd be a good hate watch for you.
Absolutely. I'm sitting there with popcorn. I'm going to have a great time.
I'm going to be stressed out on it. And then you got Eduardo Camavinga. That's pronounced last name. I don't think he's playing. Yeah. He's out.
Yeah, he's got a red card. Yeah,
he got a red card. He's out. Mm-hmm. Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. How you got this one going? This was a close one last week. It
was.
Inter won 2-1. Very, very good game. How you got this one playing out?
So again, I'm about to get super nerdy about this. So I've been watching a lot of Inter Milan because my previous job, I was, watching a lot of Serie A because that was part of my job, was to watch Serie A and like create content about that. Simone Inzaghi's team is one of the most underrated teams in the world. They have actually some of the best players in their individual positions in the world. Nico Barella is one of the best midfielders in the world. you watch Nico Barella, you understand what a center midfielder is supposed to do. He does it all. He's an amazing, talented player. You have DeMarco, who didn't play last week, as their left wing back. He's stupendously great at left back, the best left wing back in the world. They play the same system Man United plays, a 3-back system, but the way that they play it is because they have each player that is really, really good for those individual roles. And Bastoni is a center back who I think is top 5 center back in the world. So they have really good players. Lautaro Martinez, for me, is a top 5 striker in the world last year, but he's, messing up a little bit with Lautaro Martinez is very good. Simone Inzaghi, to me, is one of the greatest managers in football and one of the most underrated managers at the same time. He has this team tuned up very well defensively. And you're going to San Siro, which is one of the great soccer cathedrals. It's an amazing stadium. And that pressure, given the fact that Bayern Munich right now has a lot of injuries, Vincent Kompany's probably going to get fired at the end of the season. Jamal Musiala's out, one of the best young players in the world as well. And they got to rely on Michael Olise, who I think is phenomenal. I love Michael Olise, but it's just, I'm looking at Bayern Munich and I'm just like, who else is going to step up besides Olise and Harry Kane? Like, who else is going to be there? Against Dortmund this weekend, they look very shaky. Dortmund is one of their bigger rivals in Germany. But again, if you're giving up 2 goals to Dortmund, my brother in Christ,
right?
You're playing against a team who's a defensive stalwart. So I have Inter edging it just a little bit, but I love Inter. I generally, one of my favorite teams to watch outside of Manchester United. Like, I just generally sit there and I'm just in awe. Like, I nerd out watching just the way they take up spaces and positions and seeing which players overlap and underlap. So real nerdy shit, basically. I'm sitting there just like, wow, this is just beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Inter in this game.
Now, here's the question: are the semifinals played at home and home, or are they in like the location where the championship is?
Yeah, home and home.
Yeah. Again. Okay, home again. All right.
And then the final, I believe this year, I can't remember where the final is. Should be in Barca in Bayern. I think it's in Bayern Munich this year. I think it's in Bayern.
It's in Germany. Yeah, it's in Munich.
Yeah, Allianz. Yeah. It's at Bayern Stadium. Yeah, the Allianz.
So that would be a home game for them if they're able to.
If they would, yeah.
Let's talk about your team now, man. Manchester United. I ruffled some feathers yesterday when I tweeted that I've only been watching sport for a month, but I know the Man U's got a clean house. And I was like, even they coach with that dumbass hoodie he got on, and everybody was like, he's a good coach. He just got trash around him. Oh, well, I have Billy Donovan. I know how that goes. Explain to me. Well, you explained to me yesterday pretty well, but just pretty much get like a summary. What you told me yesterday about what Manchester United's problems are.
All right, so I'm going to explain it to you talking about horse semen because that's very important. I never told you this part, for example. Like I literally set aside this part of the story because when you told me, I was like, oh, I'm going to get Scott with this. So when I say horse semen, I promise you this is a very important part of the story as to where Man United are.
Okay.
Man United have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers owner is the Glazers because of horse semen. And everybody's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes. So in 2000 Sir Alex Ferguson, a legendary coach of Manchester United, who basically made this club what they are. They've obviously had history before Sir Alex, but he took them to another stratosphere in the 90s, been in everything, winning the treble 99. So he took them everywhere. Sir Alex basically was a god where you cannot do anything at this club without him. He was the alpha and the omega of the club. Like you saw the David Beckham documentary. He ran this shit with an iron fist. Sir Alex Ferguson also had a vice, which is racehorsing. And the owners at the time, the McManuses, Irish family, they and Sir Alex Ferguson had a horse together called the Rock of Gibraltar. If I ever find that horse is remains, I'm going to stomp that horse out. But that's neither here nor there. Sir Alex Ferguson got into a debate over the horse, over the winnings and the rights. And our captain at the time, Roy Keane, told him, hey, leave this shit alone. Sir Alex, being the man that he is, very stubborn, very prideful, got into it with the McManuses, some court cases. Like McManus says, all right, boom, here's your cut of the check. Here's what we're going to do. Fuck you. We're going to sell you. We're going to sell our share of the club to the Glazer family. Now, what the Glazer family does is they do a leverage buyout. Manchester United at this point has zero debt, right? No financial issues. One of the most progressive stadiums in England. Like, there's a beautiful stadium, Old Trafford. Everything is smooth, right? Glazer family took over 2004. I'll never forget this because we're still, I'm 14. I'm actively no, there's not a good deal to do. We were actually supposed to get bought by Muhammad Gaddafi, actually. That's a crazy story, but that's neither here nor there. And so when the Glazer family took over, they did a leverage buyout. So what they did is they took all their debt that they did the buyout with and dropped into the club. So this is a club that has zero debt, like nothing. So they dropped all that debt onto Manchester United. Come 2008, Man City got bought out by Sheikh Mansour. And now if you look at 2008 to 2025, Man City's owners are putting over £1 billion onto their club. Manchester United's owners are taking out money of the club, right? So all that money is supposed to go to financing the club. That's supposed to go to upgrading the squad, upgrading the stadium, helping the women's team out. Because here's the thing, a lot of people are going to say this new ownership, Ineos don't care about the women's team. The reason Man United stopped having the women's team is because the Glazer family in 2005 said it's not a profitable thing. So we didn't have a women's team for a very long time.
I was about to wonder why they have a women's squad. Like, I was just wondering that.
We just got a women's squad in 2018, 2019. We got them back. So the point of what I'm trying to say is that the Glazer family took out loans and Manchester United became heavily indebted into the Glazer family. So the Glazer family took out dividends every year. So they'll take money out. So instead of putting money into the club, they'll take money and put it in their pockets. So when we saw Cristiano Ronaldo in 2009 for 80-something million, which is the world record at the time, instead of us going to get really good players, so we were still the top dogs at the time, we ended up getting Michael Owen the free, who basically was one of the best English young talents, but his body was ravaged by injuries at that time. It was so bad that Owen joined Man United on a pay to play. He only got paid when he was playing because his body was that messed up. We ended up getting Oberton, who was not that good. Antonio Valencia would end up being good for us, and Nani. So we started getting terrible players. The recruitment was bad. And now you're starting to see all those ills like combine into now, right? So we ended up getting, when Sir Alex left, we lost our scouting. We lost everything. We lost our soul when Sir Alex came. And obviously the ownership are making terrible decisions as to who to buy, who not to buy. So may not have squandered a lot of money because of poor management. So it's a top-down thing where you have a really, really bad ownership with terrible decision makers, on top of the fact that we're in a social media era where every little thing is a story about Manchester United. Like there was a reporter who said that you can make up a story about Man United and it doesn't matter because it's always going to sell. So they're always in the spotlight. They're the media darlings of the Premier League, of the world, actually. So any little thing that happens at this club, big or small, is going to get notoriety and is always going to be a bigger story. So Man United now in a weird place where the fans don't have the patience for a rebuild. The fans don't have a patience to understand, like, yo, this squad is terrible. It's an absolutely is a bad DBL. That's what the squad has right now. It's a terrible DBL. The ass does not match the hips. Okay, it's a terrible body shape at Manchester United, and the fans don't have that patience to sit down. And me being a little bit older, I have that patience. I'm just like, listen, I've wanted to destroy this club for a very long time. I really, really want this whole entire squad to be destructed. So you now have a really talented young coach who, by the way, he was teammates of Cristiano Ronaldo at the 2010 and 2014 World Cup. So he's that young, right? So he's trying to build a system that it's not used to the fans. The fans aren't used to seeing three defenders at the back with wing backs and two center. They're not used to seeing this formation. And the players right now, most of them aren't that good to fit this formation. There are a few here and there. So long story short is this is a very terrible club run from the top down with bad finances, bad ownership that's trying to rebuild themselves with a young coach who is stubborn in his ways. So it's a lot that I said it in the short amount of time, but put it this way. We lost the club because of horse semen.
I was about to say, like, it sounded like it's Sir Alex Ferguson took them to great heights, but he also trolled them to get where they're at right now, is what it sounds like.
You feel me? He's a medicine and the poison at the same time.
So, like, okay, so here's a one last question is what's the hope? Because I know as a Bulls fan in socks, like, there's nothing worse than having a bad owner because you just gotta hope they don't want the team no more. That redacted happens. Like, what do you? Here's a better question. What do you want to see from them this summer?
So we have new ownership, Ineos, which is they work with Mercedes in F1. Jim Ratcliffe, he's the main owner. He's a local Manchester United fan, allegedly, older man. And I think what I really want to see is Thursday. That's the most important thing for me because that's a season-defining game. Is if we win Europa League, that's going to be a game changer because we get into Champions League through winning Europa League. But this summer, I really, really need to see Man United fix that midfield. I've been complaining about the midfield since I was applying for college in 2008. So we're in 2025. I've been complaining about midfield for 17 years, my guy. Like, this is annoying. So fix the midfield. Goalkeeper has to go. We need new forwards. And you got to bring in the academy players, too. We got a lot of talented young academy players. So you got to supplement the we got to bring adults. I think that's the thing Man United needs right now is actual grown men in the locker room, like people who actually have mortgages and like wives and kids and, actual real adults in the room. United need adults in the locker room, and they also need to supplement the kids, the adults with like the younger talent. So that's what I want to see is like be more ruthless and completely got the squad. Like I want to see 15, 16, 17 players go this summer. Like that's what I want.
Here's a question I had too, because you brought up your Europa League. What, like you said, that's they automatically get in Champions League.
So if you win Europa League, you qualify into Champions League for next year.
Okay, so how? So like they're like 14th. How do you even? What is that basis? What I'm asking.
So Europa League is the junior tournament to the Champions League. So if you win that tournament, you automatically qualified next year for the Champions League. That's just how it is. It's always been that way. It's an extra incentive to win that tournament. So as bad as we are, we can finish 16th and qualify for Champions League because we win Europa League.
So then it would be the top 5, and then y'all.
Yeah.
So it would be 6.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So who do you guys play on Thursday?
We play Lyon. We drew them 2-2 last week, and we could have beat them, but our goalkeeper decided to go full. Our players decided to just lose their mind. But yeah, we play Lyon. They're very talented young squad. They got a player on there who I need at Man United next year, Ryan Cherky. I am madly in love with this player's game. He's a very talented young French dude. Man United were actually trying to buy him when he was 16 years old, and he's finally developed into like a really talented kid. So yeah, Lyon's going to be a bit of a tricky game on Thursday, but I think United can possibly eke it out, but we'll see. We'll see on Thursday.
For me, I've already been doing transfer research. I'm on the look for a striker. Like I really feel like all the reasons you just named with defense for Arsenal, if you can get somebody who can score well.
I already know who y'all should get for a striker.
Who?
I personally think it should be the best choice for Arsenal is Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. The kid plays, and I think Arsenal need to go back to being French. That's what made Arsenal special in the 90s, 2000s, was getting all the young French talents. How they got Nicolas Anelka, Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, Thierry Henry. I think Arsenal should go back into being French, and I think Hugo is a very, very special player. I think you should go look him up after we talk. Hugo Ekitike is very, very talented. So, yeah, I think that's who Arsenal should
I'm finna write. How do you spell his name?
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna spell it for you. I'm gonna type it up. I'm gonna type it up in the chat. I'm gonna send it to you. But
yeah. Text it to me. Yeah. I'm definitely finna get in the lab. But final topic of the show and for this segment that we're gonna be doing every week. Go ahead, man. The race for the 4th and the 5th Champions League spot. The Premier League's already been decided. Liverpool will be the champs, but you got from like 3 to like 7 on the table are in it. You got Nottingham Forest. You got Newcastle United, you got Manchester City, got Chelsea, got Aston Villa. Those be the teams right here. Now, Chelsea need their ass for that game over the weekend. Like, I don't know what the hell that was this weekend. How do you see these final? Because even though Arsenal looked like they didn't care this past weekend, I don't see any world where we drop from out of number 2. How do you see 3 through 5, hammering out for the end of the season?
I think it's going to be the way that it is. I think that the way you see it now is the way it's going to be. I mean, Newcastle, Aston Villa this weekend is going to be very, very interesting because that's going to set the tone. I think Nottingham Forest will beat Tottenham this weekend. I think Chelsea and Fulham is going to be hard because that's a local game. It's a derby. Two West London teams. They're literally right next to each other in like location. And then Aston Villa plays Man City next week. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those things where I couldn't call it. I mean, I generally can't call it, but I think it's going to stay the same for the most part. I just don't see Chelsea being that good enough to like climb up. I think that they got a lot of issues that they need to fix in-house. They play us, so maybe we can play spoil and be dickheads and like, ruin everything. We play Aston Villa too. So I'm very interested to see like what happens. But if I stick my neck out, I think I'm going to stay the same for the most part. I think City, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest are all going to like end up rounding it out and qualifying for Champions League next year.
Definitely, that's going to be interesting to watch over these next couple of weeks too. And then so we got last thing. I know we got the FIFA World Club Cup, which I was asking you like to explain that. My nigga Serge was like he never watched it before. He said a lot of people didn't really like respect the tournament, but there's a new format this year. Like what can people expect from this? Do you think this is going to be something that people are going to start respecting more, I guess?
Nah, ain't nobody watching. Ain't nobody respect it. I mean, I think is I'm gonna watch it obviously because if there's football and I'm watching football, so
you watching, yeah.
Anything that's football, I don't care. I'm watching. So for me, I don't really care. But I think the Club World Cup used to be fun because it was a smaller tournament in December where only a select amount of teams. Now you got the whole entire world. I think that there's way too many games on now because again, you got Champions League final May 31st. You got Europa League the week before. Nigeria has a tournament with Ghana, Trinidad, Jamaica, which is a little friendly tournament. Then you have qualifiers all in June. You have Club World Cup. You have Gold Cup in July. And it's just like, yo, where is the break? We're seeing way too many games, way too many players. But again, I'm somebody who I'm talking all this mess, but I'm still going to watch it nonetheless.
That's how I feel about 18 games in the NFL. Like, I'm not the nigga playing.
Yeah. It's bad for the players. Like, you're like, Joshua Xerxes pull up with a hamstring. We're starting to see more and more injuries. But we're at the same time, I'm just like, I know it sucks. I know it's terrible. But let me see some more football. It's terrible. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but hey, man, it is what it is at the end of the day.
I 100% understand. Like, I want player safety, but also want my own entertainment. That's what I'm at with it. But this was the first edition of Soccer for Dummies. We're gonna do this once a week. So look forward to this. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, y'all should do more football content now that you're getting more into sports." So ask and you shall receive, man. Tosin, once again, let them know where they can follow you and where they can get Shirtless Plantain Show with.
I'm a child of God, so don't follow me on social media. But follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're not on Facebook. We're not that old, but yeah, we're everywhere. So yeah, follow us all over the place.
Definitely, man. You know to follow me on all social media platforms, man. That's X/Twitter. Even though I be on Twitter, but I don't aimlessly scroll anymore. That has helped me not argue with niggas on Twitter more. When I tweet that, I've done now. I tweet from my mentions or I look at the list. I made lists now, so I don't have to look at the foolishness on my TV on my main account, man. So, but follow me there at Barberchair Scott on TikTok, on Instagram, all of that. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. Follow our partners, HMB Media, and at HMB Media TV on Twitter, and at HMB Media on Instagram, man. Of course, while you're there, subscribe to the Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. If you are listening to this on the podcast feed, the link is in the description box. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can take your phone right up to the screen and the QR code will take you right there. We got all different tiers, 4 different tiers. If you subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier or the $10 all access Barber's Chair tier, where you get everything. You get a midweek I'm Not Gonna Hold You show exclusively, and you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network merchandise shop. That is the bcnetshop.com. We got a dope Caleb Williams shirt dropped in next week on draft day, in unrespected draft day. So look out for that, man. So I will have a Patreon show on Wednesday, and then we'll be back on Friday to give our picks for the NBA playoffs, man. So I'm Scott, that's Tosin. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week, and we will holler at y'all. We up out of here.